so I keep the volume up to drown you out. Forget you were around. And it rolls like thunder, and it hits like lightning. When you're going under, it lifts you up again. Right now that kick drum feels like a heartbeat, and I'm falling for that long lost melody. I put the radio on, saving myself with a song. I put the radio on. I really need a love song to rescue me. I really need a love song that I believe. And it rolls like thunder, and it hits like lightning. When you're going under, it lifts you up again. Right now that kick drum feels like a heartbeat. I'll stop falling for that long lost melody, and I'll find out who it is I'm supposed to be. I put the radio on, saving myself with a song. I find the strength to move on. There in the moment I'm strong. I put the radio on.
When you're hurting deep down, when you're feeling like you're never gonna dig your way out, never gonna dig your way out, keep pushing up the river, keep mining for the silver till you strike gold. Gotta weather the storm, 'cause it can't rain forever. No, I'm telling you, we all follow hard times, you know. Each day is a hard climb, you know. Some days your body has to carry on, so you gotta show a little backbone. You know, you know, you know, you gotta show a little backbone. These troubles so real, we're all facing temptations and our own fears, year after year, but it can't rain forever. No, I'm telling you, we all follow hard times, you know. Each day is a hard climb, you know. Some days your body has to carry on, so you gotta show a little backbone. You know, you know, you know, you gotta show a little backbone. Gotta show a little backbone. You know, gotta show a little backbone. You gotta show a little backbone. Are you strong enough to get back up when the chains hold you to the ground? So let's break them down, yeah. Let's break them down. Let's break them down. Oh, I'm telling you, we all follow hard times, you know. Each day is a hard climb, you know. Some days your body has to carry on, so you gotta show it out. We all follow hard times, yeah. Each day is a hard climb, you know. We all follow hard times.
The seasons come and go like thoughts of you. Like a wave returns to the sea, into the blue. They change but in a cycle that I can't lose. Each painful but delightful to live through. You came into my life just like another season. Not for long, just a time, just like another season. Maybe this time next year you'll reappear for no reason, but I'll cherish every day until you come my way this season.
Face to face, I found my pain beneath the lies and broken dreams. Lost the love I had in me. It tore me apart, fade away. I felt so lost, but I held on to what I had. For what it's worth, if you're feeling low, just know that you can. Yes, you can. Life in love that you hold. Rise above and let it glow. Just know that it's never too late to make a change. Crash and burn, I found myself beneath the emptiness. Wanting more, I let it go. Holding on to love, breaking through, I feel alive. For once in my life, I'ma live by the want to be all I can. Let the rest just crash and burn. Crash and burn. Oh wow, oh wow. Let it crash and burn. This one for the person who feels alone. This one for the hero who has no home. This one for the one who live for hope. Changing better days. Pick your head up, keep on fighting, living, loving. Make your mind up. If you want it, take it, fly away, soaring high above the clouds. Hear the voices calling out. Oh, you want love.
The sweat, the high you get, you feel your body leaving. The taste, the way you chase the wave, you're jumping in the deep end. If there's no finding my way back, I'm fine, I'm finding my way back, no lie.
How high is too high to come back down? How high is too high to come back down?
So high like the ceiling, so high on this feeling that's lifting me up off the ground. How high is too high to come back down, down. To come back down. To come back down. The lights, the sounds, these ups and downs. So high like the ceiling, so high on this feeling that's lifting me up off the ground. How high do I to come back down, down? To come back down. To come back down, down. High like the ceiling, so high on this feeling, lifting me up off the ground.
Maybe I am just too much for I told you I would hate you till I told you I would hate you till forever.
Game activated.
There's a place at the end of the
2018 GSL Season 2 Overgrowth. Overgrowth.
Cause you give me just a little, but I'm gonna need some more. Don't you treat me like a stranger, I've been close to you before. Got me feeling
What's
like
up,
a
everybody?
rebel,
Welcome to the GSL Code S. It's going to be another excellent day. We now go to Group C. As Artosis says, the actual group of death.
That's right. The Group B was like the Boy Scouts group of death. You're like, oh, I watch a little bit of StarCraft, and these guys are big names, so I think this is the group of death. No! If you're in the know, Group C is the group of death. This one's crazy. It's impossible to say who's getting out alive.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot harder. I think Group B was supposed to be easier as far as who we predict gets out, but we were totally wrong. Deer dominating. It was crazy. Actually getting out first, the joke of that group was kind of that, although Deer is very good, he's even a GSL Codas champion, the rest of the group was so top-heavy that it just statistically should be impossible for him to get out, considering how accomplished all those players were. But he did manage to escape.
Yeah, and good on him as well. Rogue, of course, in second place gives us a round of 8 that everyone wants to see, but no one wants to see. Not that early. Rogue versus Maru.
Yeah.
They're like basically the two most dominating players in the world right now. So
yeah,
kind of sad.
It's
to
funny
see
because
that.
this is one of these tournaments where we actually have a lot of, Titans, a lot of badasses knocking each other out in round of 32 or round of 16, where it's kind of sad in some way because that could have easily been one of our finals, but it really does emphasize just how good the GSL actually is now. I mean, everybody has become so strong.
Yeah, man, you remax one time on Roaches against 10 Immortals, and bam, here you are playing Maru, your teammate, in the round of 8 instead of meeting him in the finals. It's a crazy thing.
And, you know, Deer versus Zest, that's going to be a lot of fun to cast. Those guys have very different PvPs. I'm really not sure who comes out on top there. Today here in Group C, we have Dark, Classic, Trap, and TY.
It's the group is madness. Like, what are you even supposed to say about this group? Like, everything is so close and so good. Most of these matches are really hard to predict. I think the easiest to predict might be Dark Classic. I'm definitely favoring Dark there.
Okay.
But Classic, you know, sometimes he comes with really on PvZ, even though more lately he's had a tough run this year so far against Dark. Dark has been knocking him out at tournaments left and right.
박영우 선수의 이제 지명 차례가 지금 왔습니다.
사실 뽑고 싶은 사람이 있었는데 먼저 가버렸어요. 좀
매진됐어요?
네네. 항상 좀 머리에 장난을 치시는 분.
그래 변현우 선수 너무 뽑고 싶었는데 가버렸으면은
그 선수들의 얘기를 한번 들어보고 싶어요. 좀 당찬 포부나 그런 건 좀 한번 들어보고 싶어요.
이병렬? 이병렬?
테란전, 프로토스전 하는 것보다 저저전 하고 싶어가지고 영우랑.
요즘에 박영우 선수 저저전 좀 괜찮게 하잖아요.
저저전은 괜찮게 좀 아쉬운 것 같아요.
아쉬워요?
병렬이 형처럼 저렇게 막 자반심에 차 있고 자신감에 올라 있는 사람 뽑으면 안 돼요.
왜?
죽음의 조가 되거든요.
노련해졌어요. 박영우 선수 옛날에 그 가족주 만들었다가 제대로 망했었잖아요.
엄청 패기로웠잖아요.
그때 당시에.
근데 전 도우 형 얘기를 좀 들어보고 싶어요.
김도우.
네.
김도우.
그만 만나고 싶은데 맨날 저만 뽑으려고 하더라고요. 작년에 저러다가 저한테 한번 혼났거든요. 이기고 그때 광탈 한번 시켜줬는데 한번 혼났으면 이제 좀 다른 사람 좀 뽑았으면 좋겠네요.
뭐 한번 혼났는데 그 뒤로 혼나본 적이 없거든요. 뽑으러 가겠습니다.
뽑으러 가요. 김도우 아니 말할 기회 드려.
마이크 잡을 기회 줘야 되는 거 아니에요?
김도우
마이크 잡을 기회 한 번은 줘야 되는 거 아니에요? 마이크도.
이거 대박.
아니 기회를 안 줘요?
슬픈 상황이 지금 만들어지는 것 같은데. 자, 김도우 선수 마이크 한번 잡아주시고 왜 뽑냐고 지금 하고 있는 거왜 뽑았냐고.
예상은 했는데 진짜 뽑게 되니 좀 열받아가지고 이번에 이겨야겠어요.
저그전 못하는 도우 형을 뽑아가지고 더 이상 저그가 2조에 안 들어오게.
예전에 그 패기는 다 어디 간 거예요?
그렇기 때문에 10연속 코드가 16강만 찍은 게 아닌가.
그 패기 하나 때문에.
네, 그래. 김도우 선수가 지금 선택할 시간이 좀 됐거든요. 네, 정말 박영우 선수와의 질긴 인연을 여기서 좀 어떻게 좀 활용할 것인가.
우선 저도 올라가야 되니까 제가 이길 수 있는 상대와 이제 령우를 좀 이길 수 있는 상대를 생각하고 있어요. 제가 저그를 좀 싫어해가지고 저그는 일단 빼고.
저거는 좀 패스하고.
네. 령우가 테란전을 워낙 잘해서 영우를 이기려면 저는 프로토스나 저그를 하는 게.
확실히 조성호 선수가 지금 주먹으로 계속 허벅지를 때리고 있어요.
조성호 선수, 조성호 선수도
계속 때리는 거 보니까 박영우를 저렇게 때리고 싶다는 느낌이거든요.
아니요, 그냥 누구 뽑을지 너무 궁금해서요. 저는 D조 가서 선택도 못 해보고 팀킬 바로 돼가지고.
자, 그러면 김도우 선수 바로 선택해 주십시오.
확실히 테란을 뽑기에는 뭔가 박영우 잡기엔 애매하다는 생각이 강하거든요.
그냥 여기서 조성호 선수를 뽑아버리네요.
주먹으로 허벅지 20대 때린 게 효과가 있다는 생각이 듭니다.
그렇죠.
우선 성호가 저그전을 잘하기도 하고 최근에 령우를 많이 이기는 걸 봐가지고 또 경기 내에서도 령우랑 하는 걸 보면 도움이 될 수가 있어서 성호가 되게 령우 좀 저격령으로 뽑았어요.
이제 조성호 선수의 지금 선택의 시간이 좀 기다리고 있는데요. 조성호 선수는 진짜 데려가기 싫은 2명인데 지금 남아있잖아요.
네.
이신영과 전태양. 그래도 여기서 조금 더 좀 원하는 쪽이 있을 것 같은데요.
성주가 권한을 지금 어떻게 쓸 건지 전 궁금해요.
병렬이 형이랑 성호 형이랑 바꿀까 생각 중인데.
그럼 나야 좋지.
이미 끝났네요.
좋아요. 그러면은
김유진도 손 들어요.
그러면은 성호 형 그러면
나왔어요.
너가 오케이.
나왔어요. 끝났어요? 지니어들끼리의 대화 순간 오케이 이응 한번 하고 끝났어 이렇게 나오거든요.
네. 잠깐만, 지금 김도우 마이크 잡고 아니라고. 김도우 절대 안 된다고. 김도우 좀 이야기 한번 해보세요.
성주야, 중국 가면서 많이 친해진 것 같은데 또 이렇게 안 해줬으면 좋겠는데 저번에도 저그한테 탈락했거든요. 투자분은 너무 그냥 거의 탈락일 것 같아요.
아 지금 울먹거려요.
그렇게 생각하니까 또 그렇네요. 근데 병렬이 형이 바꾸기 싫어하는 것 같아서
막상 보니까 조가 너무 힘든 것 같아가지고 성호가 괜찮다면은 안 바꾸고 싶은데.
여기 있고 싶다?
믿었던
후원에
이러면 이야기 달라지죠. 성호가 오고 싶다면 바꾸고 성호가 나 괜찮아 하면은 안 갈.
갑자기 김도 웃어요. 와 좋아요 지금.
고개를 끄덕이고.
자 이신영과 전태양 선수가 지금 남아 있거든요.
이게 준 가족
지금 여기서 좀 원해요.
이미 일어났어요.
미리 일어났어요. 여기 가면은 전태양. 전태양 뽑았습니다.
김도우 웃어요. 그나마 낫죠. 그나마 낫죠. 그나마. 김도우가 제일 행복해 보입니다.
자 오늘 그렇게 조주명식. 자 김도우 선수님 웃으면서 자 이제 그룹 C의 선수단이 결정이 됐거든요.
제가 좀 많이 졌던 선수들이라 솔직히 C조랑 D조에 상성 선수들이 좀 많아서 힘들겠다 생각을 했어요. 그래서 좀 빨리 하고 싶었는데 그나마 D조보다는 빨리 해서 괜찮을 것 같아요.
Going all out in denim here. Season 2 of the GSL. We're moments away from starting this. Again, only 2 players are going to survive. The other 2 will be eliminated. This is such a scary group, and there's so many interesting possible matchups for matchup 3 and 4. I'm very curious to see, because each of these guys have their own strengths, their own play styles.
Indeed.
Like, let's say we end up with a classic versus trap matchup. Excuse me.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be really hard for trap, actually. I think classic's been so dominant in that matchup. But
he has been super strong in PvP. It's a good point. I think that TY trap is the most interesting match in the entire group, because like if TY dies to trap, I think TY's not making out. But if he beats him, he might win the group.
So weird to
it's
say
a
that
wild
too.
Group.
TY, who a little over a year ago won IEM Katowice.
Yeah. One of the winningest players last year. It was insane.
Yeah, and in a really impressive fashion. But I don't want to get too ahead of myself here. It's just that we've got so many great games here and so many great possibilities for how this could all branch out. So we're taking a look at Dark here. Dark has off and on been the best Zerg in the world. I think right now he's being a little bit overshadowed by Rogue, but I guess everybody is.
But he's the other guy in that Zerg relationship.
Everybody wants to be the guy, but you'd be fine being the other guy too.
Yeah, definitely between him and Rogue. I guess the only other person people really mention right now is Cyril. But we're still waiting for him to come and try out for GSL.
Yes,
so
we would love
we're
to
gonna
have
keep
Cyril
it at Rogue
here.
Dark.
That's right. I just want Cyril to make some WWE entrance where the music changes and I go, wait a minute, that's Cyril's song. And out of nowhere he comes out, throws Trap out of the seat, and the graphic at the bottom changes. But no, he'll probably just have to qualify like everybody else. But yeah, we'd love to have him down here.
So what do you think about the group, though? Who do you think comes out?
Man, I really don't know. I could give you 2 random names, but I'm really just pulling it out of the air. This group, I honestly just don't know. That's why I'm so excited to see who comes out.
For me, I'm kind of feeling Dark in the winner of TY Trap.
Okay.
I think the TY Trap match is going to give us a ton of information. And if Classic can take out Dark, man, I am happy to eat my words, but he has a very hard time against
I believe Dark is supposed to win this, but Classic, and we've been calling him Classic 2.0, as he's really brought in a whole new style.
You could call him the best Protoss in the world right now, along with stats, I think.
Yeah, well, he's just, you know, he was at the very top points of Protoss and then fell back, and now he's completely re-engineered his style, and he's interested in winning this GSL. So let's see.
Funny wording. Hey, Classic, what do you think about this GSL? I'm interested in what you can say.
I'm here to take it all. But you know, only in StarCraft or a game that's been around this long can you get stories that are this good, right? I mean, this is one of the great things about continuing on this game's legacy.
Classic.
Is that we get to see these players continue to grow and develop, and you know, it's almost like one of these comic book storylines that never has to end as each new edition comes out,
Mm-hmm.
like each new edition of the GSL. Hold up here.
What is
probe
this drone doing?
Yeah, and that probe just looped past and did not spot the drone, so I'm curious.
Yeah, is he just going for a scout, maybe an offensive hatchery there?
Looks like he is
kind of looking like, but
it seems like that's what it's going to be. We have Dark right now at almost 200 minerals. Now probes are coming down here, and it looks like they might be able to stop the drone from expanding. But of course, the
Yeah.
drone can stop the probes from expanding. But it seems like with 2 probes here,
he actually spent his money, so he's definitely not trying to make a hatchery at all. He's just trying to slow this down, and he did a pretty good job with it, I would say.
Yeah.
But, you don't normally see that being like the choice.
The funny thing though is Dark has a lot of times done stuff that later on becomes standard, just way ahead of everybody else.
Yeah.
I think this is why he's been able to stay at the very forefront of Zerg, because he's not somebody who's waiting for trends. He really is like a trendsetter. Oh, Net Wars. Got some Polish dudes in the audience. Thanks for coming down.
Polish scene always awesome.
I know, it's huge, man. It's always been huge. Like, even all the way back to the old StarCraft 1 days.
Yep.
You go online, you'd see these brackets, man. Like way bigger than anything that was happening in North America was already going on in Poland.
Yeah,
as far as a tournament down there. So anyways, guys, welcome to the studio. Thanks for coming down. I think we got a decent number of non-Koreans here.
Yeah. A lot
They
of people
just
showing
keep
up
coming
today.
in.
Well,
Yeah.
this is such a group. Like, I mean, no matter what race you like, this has your guy in it.
Yeah, this is true. Everybody's got someone to root for in here.
Top 2 Korean Zerg, a top 2 Korean Protoss, and one of the 4 horsemen of Terran.
Yeah.
Sign me up, tasteless.
So the Overlords now come in here for the scout. We got to remember that a lot of Protosses have been able to flip the board with some of these timing attacks that come in. For instance, that Zealot Warp Gate timing attack, and then there's a variant where you get the 2 Archons and then do that. And so it seems like Dark really wants to lean hard on just confirmation scouting.
I think you're probably right about that. Like, he's got his Overlord over near the natural right now. A Phoenix coming out first. This really is the norm right now to push that Overlord out and kind of make it questionable as to what's occurring. We'll see where he keeps that Overlord. He sees the Phoenix coming out. Going towards the natural. Maybe get a peek as to whether or not the gases are being taken before it dies.
Yeah, and so far, I believe neither of those gases, neither of them have actually been taken here. And look at this, he's even sending it all the way back in the other direction.
Yeah.
He just wants to have this occupy as much vision of the Protoss' real estate in case there's anything that the Classic's doing that might telegraph a rush or something aggressive early on. For instance, getting confirmation, okay, there's still an Oracle coming out.
And these first Overlords right now, because this part of the metagame has stabilized so much, are so deliberate in what they're doing. Are they checking for gas? Are they going back? Almost everyone right now seems like they're checking for Oracle.
Did you see that?
Yeah, I did.
Second Stargate.
Dude, the Zest build, Classic going to be using it here as well. I'm not too surprised, to be honest. For anyone who missed it, actually, Zest was able to defeat Solar, and a big part of his play was 2 Stargate Phoenix. You just kind of fly around with an Oracle and a Phoenix. You have denied their scouting. They don't know that you're going for this, and it counters Roach Tech very, very hard, but you have to go Roach Tech to shore up defenses against things like charge lots or Archon drops that normally follow up in Oracle openings. So it's a very interesting build. Zest used it to great effect, and it seems like the type of build where Classic might be able to get a leg up against Dark. I think it's a great choice.
Okay, Oracle eating a little bit of damage there. 2 hits so far. Oh, almost. Dark with really quick target firing right when the Phoenix dropped it. Almost shut down the Oracle there.
A couple Zealots being warped in right now. Phoenix is being made 2 at a time. Now, let's see here. He's going over to take this 3rd base location. He's got that full wall in. The Oracle's at home to help out as well. Of course, Dark doesn't know for sure what's going on, but look at that evolution chamber. He hasn't made any roaches. Okay, a roach being made. If you make a bunch of roaches, I feel like this build gets a really big heads up on you.
I do wonder because, at least for us as casters, this is one of the newer things that's happening here. But I wonder how trendy this truly is at the very, very, very top of the meta, where maybe Dark is already still anticipating this.
Well, he just made 9 roaches. He's got spores out in kind of anti-warp prism locations.
That's what I was
wondering.
wondering.
Those are not anti-Phoenix.
Yeah,
so
unless you just wait to see the Phoenixes come and move them. which could be what he wants to do.
He'll probably have to do that.
He knows now, so let's see how Dark reacts.
This is the first moment he knows. 3 more queens get started immediately. Another Spore gets started immediately. Probably moving some of the other ones as well. A couple of Adepts come in for some harass.
I like that the Adepts come in right before the Phoenixes get there to really try to stall the Zerg out just a little bit.
All right, going to target down a queen. He already picked up a single Roach. A bunch of Roaches going across the map, but he's going to be able to kill a lot of Overlords, and he can turn around and kill all those Roaches.
Okay, so he's actually supply blocked him. This was something, I'll get to that actually in a second. Let's see how much more damage he does. The Roach is headed northbound here. I don't believe there's quite enough to defend just with the ground here for Classic, so Classic's going to send those Phoenixes back.
This is very interesting that Dark is actually going for a Spire here. That can't be for anything but Corruptors, right? So is he just going to sit here and go Corruptor Roach or something? Like, what are we going to see?
Well, I guess it's not wrong, right? I mean, when Protoss goes for a lot of air like this, they are automatically giving up some leverage on the ground here. I mean, the thing about the Phoenixes is they're intended to be able to combat stuff on the ground. But it's one of these things where a small number of Roaches is pretty good against a small number of anything else, right? Unless it's Immortals, but okay, so he's continuing to come in here. Zerg is no longer supply blocked. The Oracle is very important here for trying to hold off this attack. It's not like the Oracle's great against Roaches, but it's something that deals a lot of damage.
That Oracle's going to town, man. Without that Oracle, he would have had to come home already. Looks like he recalls his Phoenixes, and we'll just kill off the rest of them at this point. But definitely a hero Oracle at this point. Okay, so 8 Corruptors. I find this super interesting. I'm so excited about this. Like, I guess, you know what could happen here, right? Because this would be the stupidest thing in the world if the Corruptors didn't have that ability where they puke on buildings.
I wanted to bring this up. I was thinking about, like, do you just kill the Phoenixes and then you slime all the buildings?
Yeah. Yeah. Because, like, when you go for this many Phoenixes, you're not going to have anything that shoots up. You don't even have the gas for a sentry at this point, right? Like, you have to get into things like splash damage eventually. But, if you start getting picked off because of the overwhelming Phoenix count, that's an issue as well.
Okay, not bad control here, actually, with Classic. He is fighting these Corruptors head-on. And this is an interesting angle that he wants to take this fight at. He needs to move some of those Overlords away there.
I tell you, this is so interesting. Like, I feel like you throw down a Baneling Nest right now as Dark as well.
The Baneling Nest!
Okay, let me explain why, right? Because at this point, it feels like you're going to have to warp in Stalkers, right? Like, eventually, if he just keeps committing to the Corruptors, then eventually you're probably going to need to make Stalkers or you're going to lose all your buildings. And if anyone goes like a Stalker-based composition in the late, mid, or late game, and you just make like a lot of Ling Bane Hydra or something like that, right? Like, Banelings don't seem like they're the counter to Stalkers, but Stalkers don't kill them quick enough to do anything.
Ooh, gotta be careful with that Warp Prism. Now here's the thing, if you keep making Corruptors, they can fight the Phoenixes, but now with the Archons comboed in, I'm wondering if Dark brought this game into a bad direction for him.
Well, the Archons can't really chase the Corruptors. Yeah, they can't go beyond walls. They aren't that quick. So I think the Corruptors actually, watch this, right? You're just gonna come in and, well, I mean, see, now you see Stalkers coming in. But yeah, I like this, man.
Right.
This is cool.
Oh, he stopped. Okay, he sees a few Stalkers and decides otherwise.
Yeah, some Stalkers coming out. He has a few High Templars, mostly Archons, but the thing is, Archons won't do that well against Roach Hydra.
By the way, this is a pretty impressive expand here by Classic, just pushing right out. He's going to be very close to that fourth. Got to be careful. If 1 or 2 of those Archon shots connect on the ball of Corruptors, it's like everything's going to disappear. Now, I don't believe we have any Immortals in the mix at all, but we have a Warp Prism push. It's a lot of Roaches. Roaches, not bad against Zealots, but sometimes when you get numbers this high, assuming that the Corruptors, so you can start to eliminate some of these Roaches from the fight. And even if Dark could win the battle in the air, he's going to lose the fight on the ground here. Classic beginning to push in. Now, he's driven a wedge in between 3 different bases now, which screws up a lot of the rally points here for Dark.
What an army that he has right now. Look at this. He's sacrificing the Phoenixes at this point. He's just lifting as much as he can, trying to get his Archons on top of everything. The surface area is not perfect for him.
Thing is, this Warp Prism's not going to be taken out, and he can, GG. He can pick different fights in each location, like Zealots and Archons in small numbers, because they were each hitting those 3 different bases. Will beat anything popping out of a hatchery, right?
That's very true.
It's kind of like that idea of, like, if you get on top of a Terran player's barracks or factories, you're probably going to win the game. If you're there for more than, like, 15 seconds and they haven't stopped it, usually it's over. Kind of the same idea as if you just have if you've really forced your way in, you're occupying that location. Instead of, let's say, he just tried to pick a fight at the fourth, maybe eventually Dark musters up enough to have some kind of tactical advantage where he can try to fight that. But yeah, he just runs over, completely runs over Dark.
What an interesting game. You know what? I think in practice, Dark forced a lot more Stalkers out, but I think that basically the turning point was when the Corruptors first came out and Classic started to reduce their count with the Phoenixes. The fact that he was able to force more and more Corruptors out, and there never got to be a critical mass that you have to warp in a bunch of Stalkers against, I think made Classic's timing attack just really, really strong. That was a sick game, though. I've never seen these two strategies, and it's just, you can see Dark has really thought about Zest's build.
Okay, we're going to game 2. It's on one of our new maps, Lost and Found. Right now, Classic with a 1-0 lead.
Yeah, very interesting strategy coming out of him to try to counter that double Stargate play. Not working out, though. Not that game.
Classic.
And Classic really executing that build order very, very well. It'll be interesting to see if he wants to try that again. And again, like, you know, that last game, I just love that. I want Dark's replay pack of his practice games for the last few days, because I swear to God, I bet you that in practice he's doing well against the Phoenix play by going into Corruptors. And I don't know. That was a super sick game, though. What a good way to start this day off.
You know, it's funny because we were looking at this, and it's a pretty cool idea, especially coming out now here, that you get the 2 Stargates, you get the Phoenixes, and sometimes we'd say, oh, this is intended to throw the other player off. I'm wondering if this is going to become so trendy that it's actually just normal. You know,
the double Stargate play.
Yeah,
I mean,
because I'm looking at it. So let's actually rewind this way back. The first time we started seeing stuff like this was actually in StarCraft 1, where people started to mass Corsairs against the Zerg, and you could just kill Overlords. And obviously, Phoenix is in some ways like a more advanced Corsair, because you can actually pick up stuff on the ground, so you can get worker kills. Yeah. But just recently in ASL, we started seeing this double Stargate build after Fast Expand.
Yeah.
Against Zergs, and it threw off a lot of Zergs in the ASL, and then we're seeing the same thing happen right around the same time here in the GSL, where this is almost like the trend in both games is to try to blindside Zerg with a bunch of air units.
Well, yeah, okay, so I have an idea about that, and I have an idea about the build as well. Let me start with my idea about what you're saying about a similar trend in a matchup that's technically the same races, but quite different between the two games.
Yeah, but some things operate the same way.
Yeah, for sure, some do. But like, okay, so as far as that goes, the whole world is getting better at RTS games all the time. There's so much pro play going on, so much discussion, so many televised matches. We're in a more global world than we used to be and all this, right? Like, and overall, like, knowing how to correctly pressure is probably the hardest and the best thing in RTS. Pressure is the most powerful thing that exists because you are not actually committing, but you're forcing errors.
Right.
So I think that is probably why we're seeing that type of thing against Zerg, because that's a way that obviously Zerg can be a little bit weak, is with their flying supply depots, the Overlord. So about the build in particular, it seems like it's a build that has to rotate, right? Like, if it gets overly popular, you'll just go Zerglings into Hydra, and you're going to be fine, probably.
So maybe it's strong because Protoss also has the option to come out with a War Prism and have a bunch of gates. So it's one of these things where
the fact that Charge is the best all-in and Archon Drop is like the best follow-up to Oracle is what makes the Phoenixes so good, because Roaches counter both those. So if you don't go Roach and you don't know what they're doing, 2 times out of 3 out of those 3 builds, right, you're in trouble.
It's like you're going for rock or paper or scissors, but you don't know. But if you have to counter to that, it doesn't necessarily mean the Protoss loses either.
And look, this game, right? Okay, he's actually going for a Robo, so this could be an Archon Drop. In fact, yes, it's going to be an Archon Drop because he's taking his additional gases. And so this game, if Dark thinks that it's 2 Stargate Phoenix, and skips Roaches altogether, the Archons are just going to gain a lot of value, and the follow-up timing push is going to be really strong.
It's really interesting stuff.
I love it, man. Just such brainy play out of Protos's. Whole internet just
I know.
or 2/3 of it at least.
So the Oracle comes in here, it gets 3 kills.
That was nice.
Almost loses it. It's got to be careful. You do need that Oracle later on. And now we're seeing a Warp Prism come out here. Now there's 2 additional gateways coming. It's Zealot Legs. So kind of the idea that we were talking about with, well, that Stargate build's only good if you have another build like this one that we're seeing in this game now. This could pull the rug out from under Dark here, but note it's not some kind of crazy aggro play right now. It could on some level look like maybe the Phoenixes are still going to come out, but this is not anything of the sort. He's getting to Templar Archives. He's getting a Forge. Zealot Legs is coming.
Yeah, he actually moved out with a very similar amount of units to take the third and everything.
This has been disguised really well.
Yeah, has he actually seen the Warp Prism as of yet? I don't know.
No, I don't believe so, because it went down from the natural to the third base.
Yeah, I don't think he saw it.
And so now Dark will know this isn't coming once he sees the Archons drop in. I'm not too clear on the exact number of Phoenixes you want to have come out, like if there actually is a magic number, but we haven't seen anything come out just yet.
Yeah, a little bit of Ling harassment going down, but he's made some Roaches, but he's getting melee for Zerglings, right? So maybe this is some sort of middle-of-the-road, okay against everything type of play?
Yeah. Got to be careful here. That Warp Prism already taking some damage.
Yeah, that was actually...
Well, Dark came at a very good angle. He surrounded that quite nicely.
Yeah, he pumped that drop, man.
Yeah, and immediately had those Queens targeting down the Warp Prism, which is really smart.
Yeah. Really good stuff. All right, I mean... Dark has deflected this, and the second Robo on the way, so he's going to really start on those Mortals. Wait, did he cancel the +1 melee and go into +1 range? Am I crazy? Did that occur? Oh, I
don't think melee was that far away.
He did. He canceled it.
Yeah, he had to, because it was really early on when he had started it.
Okay, so this, I am just getting chills. These guys are so good. Don't you tell me that Group B was the group of death, okay? Dark, he's trying to figure out what to do against this 3 build order rotation right now.
Yeah.
So he started melee, he made minimum amounts of Roaches, and then when he saw it was Archons,
he switched into the range attack.
Canceled melee, he's like, screw this, I need range attack.
So he might actually try to come here with a very different timed attack, but maybe thinking that Phoenix build was strong enough, he wanted to have melee. If he did need to mass circling up, and just have the bare minimum number of Roaches spread out in each location to hold off the Archon harass.
Exactly, yeah. I mean,
dude, that's pretty sick.
This is so sick, and now he's, his +1 range is going to be finishing up. He's going into Roach Hydra, which is a, pretty standard for right now against this type of thing. Archon drop into Immortals. And probably he's going into the Drop Lords before any Lurker Den, but those are really kind of the 2 next techs, right? You start to pressure, you try to get some drops off, maybe get the Protoss out of position. But this is what a sick series so far.
The question, though, is can Dark actually make this work? Because Classic, what his build, okay, he's going to do a drop here. Classic, what he did in this build was not dramatic. He's basically put pressure on and safely expanded out. Now, the drop coming here is, it's just now been spotted, which is very important. Nice harass and over here. Does Dark also try to attack into the front? It looks like he's moving his army now.
Yeah, he's moving quite a big chunk of army over towards the third base, and of course the other units in the Overlords going towards the main. Let's see here. I mean, both of them are pretty scary armies, but if there's a good unit split from Classic, he should be able to hold without problem.
Okay, now this is quite a bit of Roaches and Hydras. The angling, though, he's got to be careful about Storm, because there's really no way to actually full-on fight there without eating. It's like 3 Psionic Storms fit perfectly at that third base if he tries to cross. So he breaks down the rocks.
Look at this, with the Immortals, the Psy Storm, he's looking good. In his main base, he has a few Immortals, he has Stalkers. Things are looking very good defensively here for Classic.
Dark may try to fish out the rest of the Psionic Storms and then push in. He's got enough units, he might be able to just eat some damage and then close it out of this expansion. So we have Roaches now coming here, and Hydras from the top. This may be too much.
Oh, man.
He needs to start juggling these Immortals back.
Yeah, nice. Great right now. He's trying so hard with this micro here on the Immortals, and the Immortals are still alive.
Yeah, and as long as your Immortals are alive, you never want to count the Protoss out.
Yeah. Look at this. He's shuffling them all behind the Archon. Are you kidding me? Oh my God! Insanely good micro here from Classic.
I think there was one Immortal taken out there. And it's funny because it looked like there was so much of Dark's units engulfing the third that it was going to get run over. But with a nice warp in there, north of that fight, Classic then came in and shut that down. And keep in mind that Dark had basically maxed out.
Yeah.
Okay? He had not really been teching. In fact, you see him teching behind this. He started Aspire here.
Yeah.
Classic is getting more and more sophisticated in this game.
Well, I think that this is like, not only was that a great hold, but this play from Dark, first off, notice how he isn't just holding down the R key against someone who has 10 Immortals left over. That's a really good move, Dark. Thank you. He's got some Roaches, he's got some Hydras, he's making some Zerglings. And the fact that he's going into Spire, I really like, right? He killed all of the Archons.
Yeah, and
so there could be surprise mutas.
He also has forced a ton of Immortals. And
I
mean, they're just,
that's a sick pick off.
Yeah, very smartly done there by Dark, preempting that. Okay, so we once again see an attack here over on the third. Immortals need to come down here and fight this. He can't just win that with Storms. Okay, these guys are so ahead of each other, it's crazy.
And these guys are just so good in general. What a sick match so far. The Stalkers have to pull back. He does get some of the units out. Looks like he's going to go ahead and get out of here. Doesn't want to lose any more than he has to. But you know what? He's keeping his opponent busy. This is the important thing. Dark doesn't think any of these moves are going to win him the game against the army that is here, but oh my God, getting on top of these Immortals with Lings is actually fantastic.
That was actually pretty huge. There's no War Prism over here to help juggle. As long as he can get a few more Lings around there. Okay, the War Prism's come back down. It looks like he'll be able to salvage most of those Immortals.
But look, where's the Archons? Where's the anti-air? There's 10 Mutalisks out here. He can fly in, start picking off High Templars, maybe finish off some Immortals or something. Let's see.
So he has 2 Archons morphing. I think the Mutas will get there right before the Archons finish. Anything he can snipe is going to be worthwhile, but once those Archons are up, of course, Dirk can still try to do damage. You just want to avoid the Archon shots themselves.
Ooh, gets one High Templar immediately. Don't forget the Glaives setting off a lot of these shields just in case.
And Dark is making a lot more Roaches behind us. Okay, another nice snipe there.
Good stuff right now. Still poking in multiple directions. Fourth base, though, is coming up. Another drop into the main.
This is so sick, actually, how many different locations Dark is hitting here, and Classic is still hanging on. Now, Classic's goal is to keep on teching, keep on upgrading, and eventually max out. And then it'll be his opportunity to push across the map. I mean, plays like this from Dark are huge, especially denying expansions and or probes from mining. Like any worker kill you can get is going to be great. But there is an inevitable counter push unless Classic falls apart. And Dark needs to be ready for that because this is 4 bases versus 4 bases.
Yeah, when Dark, or rather Classic, moves across the map, that's probably game over in his favor. His army is just so much better, but Dark is trying everything he has to gain some sort of edge, some sort of advantage. He's forced mining to stop at the 4th base multiple times, picked off a lot of key units, but he's still on layer tech. He just started his infestation pit, so he doesn't have the right units to actually stop a fully teched Classic army.
So, the Mutas are beginning to lose equity now. They can't do that much more. Their numbers are too small. We see Dark's not making any more. Classic, you know, he did trade out some supply there, but Dark's next response is going to be Swarm Hosts.
I love it.
This is really smart because this is possibly one of the only other ways to keep Classic matted in his base.
Yeah, and if you're stuck on layer tech, like in this situation, there is no window to go up and get into something like Broodlords, right? It's just, it's not going to happen. He's going to kill you before you do that. But Swarm Hosts, if Classic doesn't play perfectly, you're going to have a terribly hard time against this. This is one of the hardest things to play against.
Fleet Beacon coming up as well.
Yeah, he's going to have to get into carriers. That's going to be probably how Classic tries to end up winning this game, I would say.
Yeah, I think Dark, with a very intelligent choice, picked the exact right tech here.
Yeah.
We're now seeing the reintroduction of that melee upgrade. As this game's going to go on for a long time. Now, Classic's defense has gotten good enough. He's beginning to branch out with small armies and clean up anything that's waiting around over here. Which is really, you know, had these Swarm Hosts not come out here, that would have been the tightening of the noose around Dark. And so Dark's now going to try to come in here. Now, the Swarm Hosts might not outright destroy this base, but it's going to chew away at whatever Classic has. Now, We did see some Phoenixes out here. You might want to try to scout around and see if you can spot those swarm hosts.
Absolutely. That's a great move to do. You actually find some mutas. Dark is not going to be too heartbroken about this. Those mutas don't matter that much right now.
Yeah, to be honest, he probably wants the supply freed up. So
it's not a big deal.
Dark is coming, actually he's being pushed away here. Now, Classic's identified that, okay, swarm hosts are a reality. He's got a lot of Templars. He's got a lot of Archons. He's going to push now and say you need to use those swarm hosts to try to defend. Here they go. Immortals with some great shots off over here.
Oh man, but look at these Locusts. They're going to come down and erase a lot of them. Great Psy Storms though from Classic, but he's losing a lot of his important units as well.
The thing is I think Classic, if he does this right, will actually push through. The swarm hosts, they take a while to regen the Locusts, and I think that he could do it. He needs to keep pushing. I don't know how much energy is on the Templars, but with each wave, and also Dark has to combo the Hydras and Queens with the Locusts here. So one expansion goes down.
All right, the Locusts are going to be back out here. A bunch of Hydras just popped out as well.
Oh,
that's
wow.
a good move. Ooh, look at that. He retargets, gets a High Templar there, really knowing that that is the crux of killing him. But Dark doesn't have a whole lot left now.
But he did force. Classic also forced those, swarm hosts to come all the way back. You can see Dark's, he's barreling across the map because he wants to try to start initiating in the upper right. Now Classic may have actually been able to sandbag this push out long enough that he can hold this. Let's see though, he needs to get the rest of his army up here. Cannons and batteries can die, but he can't afford to lose that Nexus.
Well, those carriers are going to lose their interceptors rather quickly. The Locusts holding back the main part of the army, but he has to turn around as soon as those Locusts are gone.
Yeah, he needs to get enough carriers where it's an amount that is a more realistic threat.
Well, did he lose one? He lost a carrier there.
Did he actually?
I
thought he had 30 at the start, but I didn't see. I guess you have to assume it did go down. He could have skirted ahead with the Hydras and maybe just gunned down one.
Well,
carriers don't respond that fast, you know?
Yeah, I got to say, like, Classic's defense this game has been astoundingly good, but the tactical play of Dark is some of the best I've ever seen. Like, he actually should have been dead so many times. Almost every Zerg in the world would have been dead by now. Classic would have been able to easily walk across the map and completely finish him. But this Swarm Host play, the poking in, the fact that he's moving in and out with his Hydra Roach, with those Swarm Hosts, but sometimes splitting them as well, these are all great moves.
Okay, now he's going to snipe down this Nexus over here. He should have just the right number of, Locusts to just take that out. And this is going to become a problem because Dark can do that as many times as he wants, as long as he has something to defend back at home.
Well, does he have something to defend back at home, I guess, is the next question, right?
Well, I believe the Swarm Host headed back.
I think he just got Pathogen Glands, right? So maybe we have some Infestors.
I don't know what the story is with this Hydra, but hope he gets away. Okay, so we see a lot of Banelings being made. He wants to have a lot of explosive damage out here on the map. This is kind of smart. Look, he just sends 1 or 2 Hydras out here. And well, look at the mini-map, everybody. Classic's turning around.
Yeah.
It's like the bare minimum.
Right?
It's just the bare minimum. Enough that...
You wouldn't think 2 Hydras would make an army turn around, but...
Yeah, well, we don't really get to see it that often, but it seems like he's just trying to buy time so that he has enough to take on this death ball that Protoss has moving out.
Man, there's a lot of Banelings mixed in here now as well. That's a scary army, though, between the Hardened Shields and all the Archons. I mean, if Dark does this perfectly, though, if he can fungal everything, maybe, like, if he can fungal everything with the Locust land?
The Locusts got to come out first. The Fungals are going to come down. Okay, now the Storms, oddly, as weird as it sounds, I think it's okay if some of those Hydras take the Storms. Ooh, maybe not. That was actually really good.
Did he not have enough for fungal there? I think maybe.
Well, he's blanketed it with Infested Terrans, which seems a little bit weird, especially when there's that much storm, because you just storm it down and kind of kill it. That's it. Classic did it.
Okay.
Too powerful. Powerful Classic, guys.
Powerful Classic.
Powerful Classic.
That was really good play, and you can see how happy he is with himself here as well.
Yeah.
Dark has actually eliminated him from so many events lately.
You win a game like that, and you're like, oh, I'm so sick.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so good.
He really played well. Like, Dark was playing like a man on fire there. Like, he got so far behind because of Classic's defense, and he was on layer tech for 100,000 years. He only even went Hive. The only thing he got on Hive was +3 range.
He was playing like a man on fire, but eventually he burned to death.
Yeah, well, that's
he
exactly
did not
what
get
happens.
the fire out.
No.
Okay, we're going to go to a break. We come back. Trap versus TY here at the GSL Code S.
Used
another day. You and I will find a way.
아프리카 TV에는 당신이 아는 것보다 다양한 인종이 살고 있죠. 말 많은 인종, 발 빠른 인종, 잘 먹는 인종, 영리한 인종, 친절한 인종까지. 모든 게 컨텐츠가 되고 누구나 주인공이 되는 세상. 알고 보면 멋진 세상.
Are you free? Africa TV.
(2018) GSL Season 2 Codes Overgrowth.
Here we go. Here's the good part of the song. See, now you know this show is cool. Okay?
It's that moment.
Everybody got chills right when that happened. Like, God, StarCraft's good.
Well, we just had what I consider an upset. I think most people, especially Dark, considers an upset.
Yeah.
Classic
Dark is
killing
upset.
Dark 2-0. I think that turns the group completely on its head. Ignore everything I said previously. There's no telling what the hell is going to go on now. Trap versus TY. This is
a very tough one because Trap really trips up a lot of good Terran players. Like TY is good, and I think especially in like big series, he's probably one of the scariest players because he's someone who absolutely downloads his opponent as each game passes on. But here's the thing, Trap doesn't care about that because he has to do a best of 3.
You know, Trap is like...
Trap's the Mad Hatter.
The Mad Hatter. Yeah. Explain.
You know the Mad Hatter from Batman? Not from the... I'm sorry. Okay. I just realized I forgot. We're not on the same Batman
page. I was thinking of Alice in Wonderland.
No.
Okay.
No. He's definitely not at a tea party. And
yeah, I'm like, what is this reference?
No, never mind. No, he's somebody. He's like, if he was a villain, he's always crazy. He's like, you'll never find all the bombs in time, Batman.
Yeah, I get
One
you.
of those kind of guys.
All right. Now TY, this is a guy that like is a little bit on and off. Like he'll either be the best player in the world or he'll just kind of go quietly in the round of 16.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly what form his TVP is in right now. I do know he's been practicing at the Corner House a little bit in the past days. So definitely taking this seriously, preparing hard, getting ready. This Trap is no slouch.
No.
This guy is like legit good. This is someone who can just win a GSL in my opinion.
Yeah.
His level's like right up there with everyone else's. Just no one talks about him. But everyone's talking so much now about how no one talks about him. I guess he's being talked about, isn't he?
We've gone full circle. All right. Yeah. This is match 2. Let's go.
Jin Air Green Wings, Trap.
Ooh, big cheer in the audience there.
Splice, TY.
Tasteless.
What's up, man?
Do you remember the first match that you casted of Trap?
Not really, no. Do you?
I do remember the first match that you casted of Trap. It was against Hydra in the GSL Avertech Intel Classic.
Oh my God!
That TVP on Destination where Hydra left like 8 tanks out in the map.
Yeah. No, I do remember.
Trap killed him, then killed Hydra.
I totally forgot about that.
Go back and watch that VOD, guys.
I was actually thinking about StarCraft 2 stuff, and like, I would say out of all the people I've casted, Trap's definitely one of the players that kind of snuck up on me. You know, sometimes we cast somebody and we end up never casting them again. And
totally. And like, yeah, that was, as I recall, Hydra was actually in a pretty good spot, and then kind of screwed up with his tanks.
That's what Hydra did, man. Hydra was generally in very good spots, and then something went wrong. Someone did not do the most textbooky thing, and you know,
who'd have thought? Though?
Suddenly his hair was on fire.
Many years later, here we are. 6 to watch TY ENG. What is, I don't know what that means, but welcome.
I'll go welcome. Yeah, man. Well, TY is like the man crush of every Terran player.
He should be.
You know?
He's like generally the smartest Terran.
Yeah. Terran
Tactically
players
the
are
best
like,
Terran.
oh, that was really smart by TY.
Yeah.
You know TY? Yeah, he's so good.
Yeah. It's like he's not known for the macro of innovation or the micro of beyond. But like intelligence-wise, the way he conducts himself within the game strategically and tactically has been the best. The thing is, Maru has passed everyone at everything during this little period that we're in right now. So it feels weird to try to describe the other horsemen because I'm like, well, his macros is good or better than innovations, and his micros is definitely better than beyonds, and he's easily as smart as TY. It's like this really weird thing, you know?
Yeah.
Where it's like we just have this superhuman Terran at the moment.
Oh no, the Reaper might actually get away here. Okay.
Yeah, well, look at that.
Nicely done here. Even sent the SCV in on the odd chance that the Reaper was overchased and the SCV is going to get in there.
That is a magnificent Reaper, actually. He's having a really hard time catching it.
Well, I totally get why TY scouting Trap so hard. And Trap, you know, one of the things that's scary about Trap is, even though it's sometimes hard to predict him, he has some great straight-up play. Whoa!
Yeah.
Whoa, a factory right out there. Okay, cool.
Well, I would imagine this is just going to be Cyclones. We've seen TY do this occasionally in this matchup.
You got to keep in mind as well is that Trap's not the only Protoss in this group, right?
That is very
There's
true.
Classic here as well. These are, I would say, two fairly different Protosses. Both really scary, both really solid.
Yeah, they're both really good at PBT, but I would absolutely put Classic above Trap.
Right, and
I think Classic is easily the best.
So to expand on that, I think that what he's doing is he's coming out with a solid build that might blindside Trap here, that there's no way that he has to worry about Classic getting any further information on him.
Yeah.
I mean, this is what makes the GSL group so interesting, is that you got to be ready for a bunch of different matchups, or possible matchups, right? Possibly having a rematch. That can happen too and still get out of the group. By the way, there's that Reaper, man.
Kind of funny building placement there. The 2 gates not wall on that left side.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is it's kind of interesting. This is hard to scout, obviously, because there is that proxy factory. TY has done this before, but it's been a while. I'm trying to remember the last time. Maybe it was Katowice or something that I saw him do this last. But
okay, great job here by Shine. Just getting confirmation that that Oracle didn't fly over that factory.
Oh yeah, the one out in the map.
Yeah. Because there's actually a chance of that happening there.
Is he just going to kill him? I think so.
Yeah. Okay. Now, hold on. He might not have seen the Cyclones, but he saw the SCVs pulled.
Yeah.
So he should know what's coming.
Well, oh, that's funny. He's like, well, if you're leaving, there must be a Widowmine in here. Nope. Trap is really fooled right now.
Yeah.
Really fooled.
Okay, he's coming out.
Dude, this is not going to go well.
Trap has to brace for impact, but I think even if he handles this perfectly, it might still be a problem. But let's see how TY controls this.
Okay, this is scary. Even with that one Hellion, I was like, what is this one Hellion all about?
Yeah,
but
well, I think it's
Probes
just,
being pulled.
Just to mask, too. Can you see the one Hellion? You're not going, we're going Cyclones.
Yeah.
Okay, so he tears down the gateway. This allows the SCVs to get it even further here. We might see a second bunker put down.
Oh, man. Look at this damage going on.
Oh, my God. And you know what? Getting that one Cyclone trap didn't actually even help that much. Is the Oracle going to be able to take down enough? Now, there are some Marines, but he may be pushed back. You know what? He's just going to do it.
Yeah, it seems like he's just going to kill everything.
It's like one of those two Dragon Ball Z beams hitting each other.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's even, and then one just overpowers the other.
It's a very, very odd-looking fight. I mean, all the shield batteries are definitely making it seem like there might be a chance, but I don't think that there is, man. These Cyclones are just dealing so much damage, being repaired so quickly.
GG. That does it. TY wins game 1.
Okay. You know, Trap, he just got completely blindsided there. And this is one of the great things about TY. He has a gigantic bag of builds that he can use, and he just fishes one out like that. It's like, okay, proxy factory Cyclone. If you are trying to do things like take a quick third base off of an Oracle and a couple of depths, well, you're going to be punished.
Man, great start here by TY, and that's frustrating for Trap because Trap's a pretty methodical player, but Trap never got to do whatever he practiced. And let me tell you something, when you are trying to get ready for a major match, you have certain builds you're going to use on certain maps or against certain players, and someone pulls the rug out from under you, you know, you come out there and
That's actually an interesting concept. We talk about it a lot, like being able to play the game that you prepared for.
Right.
But actually, I hope there's no proxies because I want to talk about that more in this next game on Backwater.
We might be jumping into that in a second. Actually, there may be a delay. It looks like something's wrong with Trap's computer. So maybe we will have time to actually talk about that. Go ahead, Artosis.
All right, so you said, you know, he didn't even get to do what he practiced for. And again, this is kind of an interesting concept because I guess what you practice for, there's a few different ways you can look at it. If you're just practicing like standard play, that's almost in a way like most of your practice will come down to whether or not your opponent played in the actual match a more standard game so you can play your standard game, right? So like when you do something like this, all the practice Trap had, did he practice against that build at all? He didn't? Okay, well, that sucks, right? You really didn't get to do it. I don't know. It's just kind of an interesting idea.
Yeah, I mean, well, you think you're playing one game and then you get totally clowned. You're playing something completely different. We're trying to get whatever Trap needs fixed, and we'll be jumping into this as soon as possible. You got to respect, you know, these guys need to have everything set up exactly, perfectly, or
maybe
it's
sound issue, I'm sure. That seems to be what it is.
That's usually what it is. Yeah, but you got to have your setup.
Yeah.
Remember Day 9 used to bring his actual computer chair?
Yeah.
Sean would bring his computer chair to tournaments.
He one-upped me. I used to bring cushions to make myself the same height as my home computer chair.
Yeah, you used to bring a bunch of phone books because a lot of people don't know that you're actually like 5'1", which is too bad. Yeah. He's not 5'1".
Yeah. It's 5'2".
5'2", and growing. No, it's important, though. You got to make sure that everything's perfect, or you're not going to be able to play, you know, to where you need to be. But in all seriousness, I do think Trap is probably going to be a little bit tilted by that loss. And everything's going according to plan right now for TY.
Yeah.
TY brings that build out, robs TY of whatever game he wanted to play, and assuming that he does advance, and he might not still, but let's pretend that he does, well, he's going to go up against Classic, which is another Protoss player.
Yeah.
And I think if he just has a wide array of good builds and he pulls off what he wants to try to do, maybe he gets out first.
Yeah, I mean, it can occur. I think Classic, especially watching what TY's doing here, I guess that game didn't give anything away, but like Classic is really a beast in PvT. So it's a tough road to TY getting first, but we will see. Backwater is our next map, and that's generally considered a very good map for Protoss versus Terran. But I got to say, I think it was Maru that we saw play here where it was just brilliant play, where he was like, okay, I take a quick third, I go into Liberator range and take a fourth, I'm not moving out, and we saw like, it was Patience, who was like, remember, he was like warping in Zealots on the side. He was like waiting. He was like, aren't you going to move out? Like, aren't you? Terrans move out. Terrans harass. And Maru was like, no, not here.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because he just stayed back and kept getting bigger
and
bigger.
It doesn't work on Backwater, right?
Yeah, and you know, you can see the Protoss is getting ready to try to jump in and attack here. And it's like, no, man, I'm just defending. And, oh, we're starting. All right, we're good to go. Game 2, Trap versus TY.
Specifically on that point, right? Like the way Maru played. Hold on, who's this guy?
Jin Air Green Wings. Trap.
Oh yeah, I almost forgot.
Yeah.
Thanks, voice in the sky. But yeah, like generally, you know, I reserve it for TY to be like, damn, that's brilliant. That's just like how you should do it. But I feel like Maru did that here.
Splice. TY.
So again, back kind of circling around to what we've been talking about, the attributes of these horsemen of Terran. The TY, I'm so interested to see if he plays like that, right? There's like 3 ways he can play. He can do a cheese, he can play like Maru, or he can do something else, okay? Those, in my book, those are the 3 things we can see here. Does he line up with Maru more, right, where it's more of a passive macro game? Does he just all in because he's like, screw this map? That's reasonable as well as doing it like Maru did it, right? And then, of course, there's like TY playing it differently, which would mean that the other smartest Terran has an idea. And how does that look?
TY, though, maybe I almost underestimated him coming into this group. I guess we'll have a better idea after the next few games, but I've been so excited by Classic lately. And of course, Dark is always pretty good. And Trap, even though I don't think he ever quite gets the acknowledgement that he deserved, because maybe there's just been other Protoss players that have accomplished a little bit more, but his games look great.
I think Trap is going to be making up for that deficit coming up here pretty quickly. Oop, it's going to try not this season, but over the next few.
I just don't feel like Trap's a player who's like really done growing yet.
Yeah. We haven't seen the best of Trap. Like Tasis, I've seen the best of you, man.
No, it's all downhill from here, man. This is it.
We're on the downhill slide at this point. Trap, though, nah.
No, I'm curious, though, to see, how much more success he could have. I loved his, it was a while back, but his match against Neeb over at Spo, that was a great.
Oh, yeah, the Cuspa Cup.
Yeah. And I think
good.
he was kind of the Neeb was, I guess, as well, even though it was so hyped that he got there, kind of the unexpected pair to have in a finals. But,
absolutely.
He went through a lot of good players to get there. Okay, so the probe does come in here and scout. Now on this map, you basically get your third for free. There's only one spot you really have to defend from, but this can end up being something a bit confusing where one player will assume the other player takes a third no matter what, and then there's some weird timing attack coming up. So you see a lot of times where they're trying to make sure they can scout and get confirmation.
Gets 2 probes. One was the scout probe, actually. Okay. But loses one to the Reaper. So that's a little bit rough, but okay.
So the Adept's going to come forward. He might try to shade in and peek again at the third, or try to shade into the main. We have a Starport on the way now. So nothing at all like what we saw in the last game.
The one thing we can say, though, is that he made a single Hellion just like last game, which is odd. You don't normally see a single Hellion sitting there on defense.
But I think
so. This could prime Trap into thinking it's the same build.
Yes, exactly. I think this is all. Yeah. It's so funny. It's almost like you can treat an entire best of 3 or best of 5 or best of 7 as a build, like a giant, drawn out build. Because he gets that one Hellion, which is seems to lend itself a little bit to like, are you making a bunch of? Are you going to rush me? Are you making a bunch of Cyclones? Because that's what happened last time.
Yeah.
Now there's also one Cyclone coming out here, which may also trip up Trap here.
Yeah, and he's getting a tech lab on his Starport.
But if the Cyclone's out far enough, see, look, he might. Okay, never mind. The Banshee does. I'm sorry, not the Banshee. The Oracle does tag the factory.
Yeah, and I think that's a fine conservative play.
Yeah.
But he has hidden Cloaked Banshee and another Barracks. So what he tagged looks pretty normal. He just takes third base. But TY has something else planned here. He's still not making a Banshee. That has to be a mistake. Oh, he's supply blocked for 1,000 years. Wow.
Ooh, that's not good.
Jeez Louise.
Okay, well, he's freed up now, but we still don't see it. Wait, what?
Wow, it didn't even get scouted. I think it's because he was supply blocked for so long that he has to cancel. It's just like, okay, any timing to do this is gone. The Banshee would have already been out. When Cloak is done halfway, there's a Banshee out already.
Right.
And
it's
it was
like
there.
2
And it's
Banshee
like,
build times for the Cloak or something like that. So
right around.
When the Banshee gets over there, it's supposed to happen quite quickly. So maybe he did make a small mistake and he's just shifting gears.
I think so. And that's
actually pretty impressive in of itself, because a lot of players, they just stick with what they had planned out, and it gets a little bumpy.
This guy's got more experience than just about anybody. So if anyone, especially with his kind of billing as being such a smart Terran player, good to see him think on his feet here, making his 3rd command center right now. Nice scout there by Trap. Wow. Okay, I'm mildly surprised that he actually finished the shade.
Yeah. Well, I think he should be able to get out with all 3. No.
Oh.
I don't even know why I put myself on the line there. I'm like, yeah, he's going to get away. It's like, no.
I don't think so. Every time I do that, I lose my Adepts. I mean, he's better, but like, there's not that much room back there.
Okay, he's once again denied. Oh, that would actually be a great pickoff if he could get that Widow Mine. Yeah. Because this army's moving out. There's not actually that much to defend here. It's 5 more gateways on the way. We see attacks being upgraded as well as Blink.
That was nice. Of course, the little force field there. Yeah, I don't think that TY can actually do anything with this. With all these gates finishing up, Blink and +1 are going to be done. There's like some shield batteries around. Looks like even some defensive cannons. Doesn't seem likely to me, especially with another tag coming up. Look, if you got that stuff tagged and you do damage, this Protoss shouldn't be in the round of 16.
Ooh, the Oracle's ready over here. We see an unload, which should be just in the vision here. of Trap.
Yeah, he's got a tag on it as well, so.
Oh, excuse me, yeah, he does. So the Phoenixes are coming up.
Lures him into a mine, that's kind of nice.
Phoenix comes up. All right, he sees now with the drop coming in over here. It doesn't seem to be that much, and actually getting the cybernetic score is not a bad kill. You can see Trap already remaking it here in the upper left.
Okay, well, just utilizing Blink a little bit here. Forces those defensive links so he can get out with the medevacs. I'm surprised he's staying this long and doing this much. That's why he was doing it. Okay, because I'm like, Trap shouldn't, Trap did not even defend that well, to be honest. But it was well enough, right? It was never going to do a lot.
It's so hard to actually really pull out a lot versus someone who's got Blink like that, right?
Yeah.
But he's decided to merge up his army, and he's pushing into the front here, but this army's already chopped up. There's more in the back. Now Trap has confirmation that this whole thing is going to be pushing towards him right here in the front. I don't know. Is this too ambitious here for TY?
No, he's not going to keep. Like, well, Force Field's coming down. He's got Blink. He's got Shield Battery there as well.
He's continuing to reinforce. The Stalker number is so ridiculously high.
Yeah.
He tags that perfectly.
Great tag.
And I feel like, yeah, Trap is just going to tear this apart.
I'm surprised TY stayed out there that long.
Well, when you see that many units, and you've already lost that much.
Yeah. You're being tagged the whole time.
Especially
like,
when
what?
you consider, like, for instance, we saw that the moment TY was late on the Banshee, he canceled and switched builds.
Yeah.
That's kind of the same idea as if you're not doing that much damage, you need to turn around. You don't just keep committing to something if it's not going well, but...
I think the very initial thing, because he did load up 2 more medevacs and try to go for the third, I liked it, but Trap had a great split, and from there it was like, yeah, there's, like, he has Blink, he has +1, he has Force Fields, he has a Shield Battery. Shouldn't be able to get anything done. He didn't really, but did he get behind from that? I don't think so.
Well, he's still growing.
Actually, he might have even killed the sentries there. Didn't he? Yeah, I guess he did.
Well, yeah, it looked like at the end of the fight, it was just Stalkers remaining.
But, I mean, did that get TY closer to his goals? I'm not so sure.
Okay, so TY, good defense there. The Warp Prism doesn't do any damage. Now, Trap is expanding further. I don't see anything coming out from TY. In fact, TY might just want to try to push again. You know, he is getting good upgrades. His army is going to get more sophisticated with these Liberators coming out.
I think he needs a big clump of Liberators if he wants to be able to actually do something here.
That, especially with Psystorm coming up here as well.
Yeah.
Psystorm is really where Terran can get punished for trying to battering ram their way through some of these bases. Like, the Protoss is absolutely fine staying back and just chucking out a few Psystorms.
Yeah, and there's no Ghost Academy as far as I know. You can utilize Psystorm against lots of Liberators. It definitely can be a useful thing. But there you go. Okay, he's actually kind of pulling back and doing the 3 base Liberator range. And with the amount of Liberators he's making, there's no way Trap's really going to break him.
Trap trying to press in, but yeah, there's really nowhere to push.
Yeah.
You know?
With all those mines in there and stuff, it's just not going to happen.
Yeah, that would be a huge mistake. But, you know, the pressure has been kept on. He is keeping TY honest. And Trap's growth rate has continued to improve here as he's acquired that 4th base and is reaping the benefits of it now.
And look, he's going into Colossus Tech as well, which is definitely going to be very good in this type of situation. You want to add that additional set of splash damage. But Liberator range is going to be out pretty soon. And obviously that's going to be really, really helpful. If he can get into position with that, that's how you just win games as Terran.
Okay, so a big warping of Zealots over here. Didn't seem to do too much damage, really. You know, I don't even know if that was really necessary for Trap to try to do.
Yeah.
Just because Terran's not moving out.
Yeah, he's just sitting there turtling. So, and he's not even on 4 base.
We've seen no attempt at a 4th base. It's not like Trap's come in there and swiped at it. And now we have it finally being taken, but it's almost like he was hoping that he could attack into a 4th base with that Warp Prism warping in at the 3rd.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was nothing there. And TY's just staying back. I think he made a little bit of a tactical error early on with those drops and lost a little bit too much, and he basically pulled all the way back and is now in really good shape macro-wise and wants to bring this into a late game. And we're going to see how Trap can handle that.
Well, he's got to continue to posture on the map, especially as these Colossi come out. TY is about to have Liberator range. He has a ridiculous amount of Liberators, and he's really quite fantastic at repositioning Liberators. This is like one of his superpowers.
We see these little infantry units 1 by 1 coming out. He's trying to get any little scouting he can on here because where that sensor tower is, it's a little bit harder for Trap to just box in TY.
Yeah.
And so He sends, for instance, that Marauder to the bottom. He wants to see if there's an expansion down there. He's trying to use as many mules as he can because he wants to power up. A fight is inbound. Trap is not maxed out, so he doesn't have the army that he could have in a little bit here.
Yeah, this is going to come down to positioning, maneuvering very, very quickly now. A lot of Liberators moving out with this army. The Colossi are up, but actually Trap is walking too far back. I think that this is actually a mistake from him.
Yeah, he's giving Terran a lot of ground.
Yeah.
And, you know, when you see this coming out, one of the things you want to do is make them set up before they get to your base.
Those are flying siege tanks. Make them siege over and over.
He's just going to set up shop at the third. This is smart.
Is he going to recall here? This might be his only chance. Oh, he can't now. It's too late. It's too late. That base is just gone.
Yeah. And this is actually pretty easy. By the way, TY expanding to the bottom here. So he's going to wipe this base out. Okay, is Trap actually coming down here to fight this? Hold on.
He can't fight it.
I don't know. Yeah.
There's no way on earth. Like, he has 3 Tempests that are going to be popping out, and then he can fight it with a very slow push style. But right now, you can just pick up and go. This TY, it's like, all right, kill the base, sick. Move back, get your units together again.
Trap's actually expanding over towards the top center. A new base. We see the Marines and Marauders actually running by. Now, he may accidentally run into that base and just kill it. Oh, I guess not. Okay, he sees it now, though, so.
He should.
He should. Or not, you know.
Colossus are here.
We're getting too ahead of ourselves here at Tosis.
Okay, the Tempests are out, so TY is actually being a little bit greedy, trying to push into the natural now. But I think he'd probably want to turn around from here. He doesn't really have enough anti-air to kill the Tempest. In fact, it's almost only Marauders left over. It's kind of funny.
Okay, so this expansion is now finally under attack here. Colossi moving up, and it looks like should end up being saved. I mean, there's not a whole lot that TY can do until he really devotes more of his army up there. So we got the Ghosts coming out, a lot more barracks going down.
Yeah, this is nice. He's mixing in Raven even at this point. Like, yeah. Now, here's the question. Do you go Vikings? He is actually adding a couple of Vikings. I said it once, I said it 1,000 times, man. You need the right amount of Vikings if you're going to make Vikings.
Yeah, and there really is an art to it, too. If you overmake them, then it doesn't really matter what's happening in the air because the ground fight's already over.
Yeah, and if you undermake them, what a waste.
Yeah.
So he is making like 3 to 4 Vikings at a time right now. Definitely they can be very, very useful. And, oh, that's +2 air weapons. All right, so that's pretty nice. That'll definitely help.
Okay. We see the Vikings now coming out here to try to drive back some of these Tempests. The Tempests are attempting to kite. Good Psy Storms coming down here. I do want to point out this is not, oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay, stopping minor. I do want to point out that this is not like a great place to try to push into.
No,
it's not. It's also not a base.
Yeah.
Like, I think Protoss might want to try to back up and attack somewhere else.
Little miss siege there. It's picked off easily. Well, from here, this becomes like a very weird game for either side to win, right? It comes down a lot to patience and positioning. Like, ooh.
Oh, get out of there!
Wow.
Wow. Okay.
But yeah, this comes down to this situation where, like, if you over push into your opponent's army, both these guys are getting such insane armies with all the greatest upgrades, then you're going to lose so much. Nice little micro there.
Is this little force going to do it? You know what TY's doing, I think quite excellently, is he's dragging these Tempests and Colossi around the map, whether on foot or by recall. And in the moment that he sees, you know, weakness in one spot, he hits there. The moment that Trap has a defense there, then he runs for it. Now, Trap is pushing across the map and trying to pick a fight here. I don't know if he can push through this planetary wedge. Oh my god.
Yeah, I know that planetary area, like, you would have to kill every single Liberator to get through there. But he's actually walking around right now with most of his army. But he actually leaves his Tempest alone. The Viking's going to come up. The Stalkers come back, and TY does not want to pull the trigger there.
You can see TY trying to preemptively nuke that location, hoping that when Trap moved in there, the nuke would actually land on everything, which is pretty crazy.
Well, if you hit a nuke like that, it kills your army. Dude, you're Reddit famous for a whole day.
Oh, yeah. Now, Trap has actually done a pretty good push through here. He's wiped out these bases. He hasn't taken out anything in the bottom right triangle that TY controls, but, you know, it is a little bit easier, I think, right now for Protoss to keep expanding out, especially with the Colossi leaning on that location.
Well, like, both armies are a little bit slow, but TY has to siege. His is a little bit more positional, right? So you just the way that Trap continually dances around and tries to shave off things, I think it's awesome the way he's playing. Like, he had a couple bumpy things a little bit earlier, but this is really nice. And TY, I mean, these can be really good moves, like denying some mining, forcing the army back. And look, he's going to get into a sick position while the entire army of Trap goes to deal with like 2 Liberators.
Okay, he's come up here now. Now he's in like real hostile territory here, and nukes actually spread out on the map in the hopes they can get some of these armies.
Oh,
he's actually zoned out that army. It cannot come in here and save this base unless with a recall. Is he going to do that?
Dude.
Oh, yeah, look at that.
Nukes on both sides. Yes. So sick, but was that the right call? These Vikings going to town after that anti-armor missile. He's going to take down all of the Tempest. Yeah. Looks like the Colossus should fall as well.
The Tempest gone, the Colossi gone. I think it's going to be a lot easier for TY to remake his army, and it's going to be an army that's going to be a lot tougher here for him to do. The only thing TY could have honestly done better is had a 3rd Ghost nuking at the Nexus where it's going to be recalled. That would have been like...
I just got chills. I just got chills.
Marry me.
That. Oh, my God. Marry both of us.
That's right.
I'll be Tasis' sister husband, or brother husband, whatever you call that. Look,
sister nerds or whatever.
That was sick though, and TY can remake. Like TY kept his Ravens live, a big chunk of Vikings, his medevacs. So it's like the cheaper units that he gets to remake, whereas all the tech from Trap basically died. He has to remake his Tempest, remake his Colossus. Those things just increment out.
Okay. We have, again, Liberators just slowly ebbing away at the economy here of Trap. And Trap is actually picking some pretty questionable fights here, like trying to attack into this planetary.
This is desperation.
Yeah,
this
is.
And he's still got a big bank too.
Well, it's funny because also note he's not spending it yet. Okay, here we go. Big mineral and gas dump, but just didn't. Oh man, yeah,
that was a good choice actually. That canceled. Yeah. Oh, where's the storms? Oh, those storms would have been so juicy.
I feel like we're seeing TY is actually quite a bit faster than Trap, which is saying a lot because Trap's honestly looked overall pretty good in this game, but TY is, you know, he's a little bit too on top of everything.
Actually, I'm going to look at the APM next time. Trap 700 against 250. Yep, okay. I trust that to be real APM. All right, so
but I mean, even beyond that, like every bit of that APM he's using is on stuff that's helping him. You know?
Totally. The 250 is quite nice indeed. Yeah, okay, so this situation here, they are at very similar bank sizes, more gas for TY, but you're not using that much gas in the matchup. And then similar mineral banks, they're both about maxed out. Ooh, those high templars are good.
Yeah, but the unload still happens. You know, if you look around the map, there's a lot of fights that I think Trap is eventually cleaning up, but not all these bases are mining. I mean, TY is actually at the point where you're not even supposed to be able to have this many bases in the matchup. Yeah. TY's become a Zerg player now.
Oh, God, he can't fight that. He needs splash damage. He has none.
I think this is actually GG here.
Oh, God.
He's the small number of Stargate Robo units have been picked off again, and this is like a point where every time this happens, the odds of Trap winning the game are getting lower and lower and lower. Yeah. And it's very easy for Terran to remake all these core units like Marines and Marauders and Vikings.
Man, his units are kind of all over the place right now. No splash damage to speak of.
Oh, the nuke might come down. He targets the Ghost and gets rid of it the last second. Again, the Vikings are still winning the air fight.
And somehow, some way, Trap forcing this army back right now, but TY is macroing heavily behind this.
Yeah, well, TY just keeps getting bigger and bigger. You know, it really is funny how the two different army compositions work. I mean, in this case, because it's Immortals and it's a Tempest coming out, you know, every time you snipe that, it takes so long to remake the new ones. I mean, you can see, even if TY loses a chunk of his army, it's remade and it's usually at the right balance. Okay, we got more nukes coming down here now. Now, it looks like TY's waiting for the rest of his reinforcements to get here and nuking this area because he wants to try to fish out more of Trap's army and have a fight. He knows that nuke probably is not going to land, but he also knows the Stalkers have to come forward, and the Stalkers and Marines are going to do way too much damage. And there it is again. See, he takes out the Immortal. More stuff is coming up.
Yeah, making sure he's not even fighting in the range of the cannons. Trap continuing in desperation mode. He's just adding in some disruptors at this point. You got to get very lucky with these disruptors come back in a game like this, though.
TY is all over this map.
TY like one all in and then just solid pressure into a giant macro game. TY looking ridiculous right now.
Yeah.
Just ridiculous. Classic should be looking at this and saying, wow. Like, TY is not going to be a pushover in the winter match.
Ooh, I like the disruptor play. That's one way to actually deal with his position out here.
Yeah.
But he needs to get rid of both. Okay, the detonations were not exactly ideal. The nuke is actually going to land.
Really good nuke. Wow.
Ouchies.
Oh, nice side storm there. Definitely some good zoning going on. 4 disruptors out right now. TY might have to back up and reinforce.
Yeah, see, the disruptors may be the only hope here, but as long as he can run back from it, then he buys more time again. Stalker's blinking in, Immortal's actually pushing down. I just don't quite believe this is enough.
No.
Again, you want to watch those Immortals, but every time he picks one up, that's a huge victory there for TY. TY almost doubling the supply now of Trap. I feel like this is a matter of time.
It certainly is. Like, Trap is just, he's rubbing 2 nickels together and trying to get a quarter at this point. Like, he had 4 disruptors. We've seen like 6-ish disruptor shots. They haven't connected well. You know, maybe that was an okay-ish one, but he needs insane value every single time. His income is still okay. It's just TY has so much going on, so many bases.
The only thing we can hope for is that Trap continues to barely hold up and TY mines out the entire map and doesn't trade efficiently from
there.
Here.
You go.
I mean, that's basically it.
That's it.
This is not even how we normally see a Terran win the game. You know, normally it's a little bit more even on bases, and the army gets so big, it's almost like TY is so good. He just keeps sucking up. He's like vacuuming up everything on the map.
Some good splitting by TY most of the time here against these disruptors. Just over time, look at this, grinding through the Liberators come up. That's it.
There it is. Nicely done, TY. Clearly, when it comes to late game, very scary in that matchup. I thought it was going to be much closer. Trap honestly looked really good.
He did.
For, I would say about half of that game.
Yeah.
And that was also a super long TVP. I mean, every expansion was actually taken by the end. But you could see that TY has way more muscle in late game. He's able to get way more out. He won something like 20 little battles.
Yeah.
And even if Trap cleaned it up, it was lost time. You could have left and made a quick phone call for 5 minutes, come back in and said, whoa, TY's twice the size of Trap, what happened? Well, it was 1,000 little cuts. Anyways, we're going to go to a break. We come up next, Classic versus TY for our third best of 3 tonight. Stick around.
My heart beats loud enough to deafen me, and you keep coming to me in my dreams, and lights flash. I beg that you'll appear and flash and tell me everything I want to hear, and then again. If the pain is endless, how can I live? How can I love when the weight is relentless? To be with you now is like the only way out. Maybe you can make it better. I don't need forever. Just find me somehow. And if you're unsure, 'cause we've been here before, I don't want more than for you to talk me down and love me just for now. Oh, love me just for now. My mind plays with you like you're its favorite game, and I shake, addicted to the drug I crave, and I'm trapped, carrying this burden on my back, but I won't let you fall, even
아프리카 TV에는 당신이 아는 것보다 다양한 인정이 살고 있죠. 말 많은 인정, 발 빠른 인정, 잘 먹는 인정, 영리한 인정, 친절한 인정까지. 모든 게 컨텐츠가 되고 누구나 주인공이 되는 세상. 알고 보면 멋진 세상.
Are you free? Africa TV.
2018 GSL Season 2 Codes Overgrowth.
Can I just turn back the clock? Forgive my sins. I just wanna roll my sleeves up and start again. I know that I messed it up time and time again, but I just wanna roll my sleeves up and start again. I was switching up the lanes, stepping out the frame I'm in. I was pulling on the reins, sick of all the same happening. That's right, I was looking for disaster mixed with a bottle of gin. And just because I come home after doesn't mean you take me in. You see my world is spinning like there's nothing below. You see my world is feeling like it just might explode. And yes, I know it's hard to take it backwards for my mind. I need to get it right, need to see some light come in. Can I just turn back the clock? Forgive my sins. I just wanna roll my sleeves up and start again. I know that I messed it up time and time again. I just wanna roll my sleeves up and start again.
Feeling like maybe I'm unappreciated, like my presence in your life has been alleviated. I feel like everything I've done before is different now, but I can see clearer than ever from a distance now. Every day I do it, I've been going through it, but you never knew it cause I never showed you. You gave me the world so I feel I owed you. I've been looking through the mirror, that's the old you. I'ma get it right now, don't know how, but I promise that we're gonna make it somehow. I'm all in, it's from the heart again. Open up your mind and maybe we can start again.
Can I just turn back the clock? Forgive my sins. I just wanna roll my sleeves up and start again. I know that I messed it up time and time again, but I just wanna roll my sleeves up and start again. Yes, I know it's hard to take it backwards from my mind. I need to get it right, need to see some light coming. Can I just turn back the clock? Forgive my sins. I just wanna roll my sleeves up and start again.
I wanna hire a gun to save me. I'm running like the whole damn world's on a witch hunt. Throwing stones and blaming. Secrets.
All right, we got some support for Protoss here in the audience. All right. Guys, you got to remember to be grateful. You're never going to be happy. What should I be grateful about? Nerd says at his monitor. Well, I'll tell you. The fact that we have Classic versus TY and we're only in the round of 16. There's something to be grateful about.
Gosh.
You negative Nancy.
Oh my gosh.
You guy talking to your computer screen thinking I can hear you. You're lucky I'm just so with it. I knew you asked that question out loud.
Impressions of the tasteless. Classic TY. TY just put out like 2 really quality TVP games, and the thing is, game 1 wasn't even really going superior for him or anything. He just like made it work. Trap made a couple positional errors, and TY pounced on it. Classic, I think, is better at this matchup than Trap, without a doubt. But that doesn't just translate into a win. I think this is going to be a sick match.
Yep, we're going to start it out on Catalyst, then Acid Plant. If we go to Game 3, it's going to be on Lost and Found, one of our new maps. Really tough to call who's going to take this. Both Classic and TY looking too strong. The winner of this best of 3 is going to be the 5th player in the top 8. This GSL Code S. Let's go.
Fight! Classic.
Looking just awesome against Stark. Just awesome.
Splice. TY.
Just awesome against Trap. Just
Thank
awesome.
God you're here. This guy's a great player, everybody. Everyone's so good. This guy's good as well. What's up with this little probe over here? Just gonna scout?
Yeah.
Just moving on out. Yeah. Just curious to see if Classic had any kind of strats that we saw coming. Like we saw TY do in his previous game where he like hit that factory where you want to start out with a bang and really start trying to dictate how your opponent's thinking about this overall best of 3.
Yeah, it is always really cool to kind of just look at the overall story that you've seen, you've been sold.
Cheers, guys.
Yeah.
We love you. Thanks for coming down. You did the right thing.
But like you were kind of talking about, right, is there was always some chance that TY was going to have to play 2 Protoss in a row or 2 Protoss in general.
Yeah.
So, you know, you have to take into consideration the 2 games that Classic already saw of him. TY has already thought that out. I have no doubt about it. But what does he do from here based upon that? Does he, you know, throw out a red herring? You know, does he do something like make a Hellion again? Remember that? The Hellion just kind of sitting there kind of broadcasting certain builds, or, you know, does he try to do something completely opposite that Classic might not be prepared for? No, Stargate is actually getting Warp Gate.
That's right.
There
Until
it is.
Goes right there. He's even giving him a hint. He's like, watch out, caution.
Yeah,
My
caution
air
and
units are
Oracle will
sick.
be in your base later. That's pretty common for Classic. He really does like Oracle openings.
Yeah.
Look at this harassment here. He's trying to say, hey, chase my SCV, and then the Reaper jumps back up. TY is really on top of things right now.
Well, this is one of the reasons why TY is so good. Look at this SCV.
This is
Reaper.
crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's the fact that he's interrupting mining. If there was anything that Classic wanted to hide, it's going to be a lot harder, if not impossible. The SCV actually gets out.
Yeah, it gets out, and he kills a probe. And, I mean, just overall quality scouting. From there, you're really not going to scout anything else anyways.
You could send that back and mine minerals with it, Artosis.
Yeah.
That's how good.
That
so good that little play is, and it's like, oh, wait a minute.
Oh, it's going to make it.
It's going to make it.
Get back here. What we didn't get to see here is he rushed to medevac to pick that one up real quick.
Oh my God! He's okay. So even that right there, he hit the Marines in the Hellion. He's so good.
Blocking.
He's so good.
Dude, the body blocking of the Hellion is so crazy.
That was just like so sick. So he even hit the Marines and Hellion, moved him down, taking advantage of the fact that this Adept is chasing his SCV. He says, "Oh no,
yeah.
Let's make it look like you actually can get it." And Classic's like, "I'm gonna get you."
Look at where he put the mine.
Oh.
Didn't Trap go on the very edge of the base on this map before?
I believe so.
I believe he did. Yeah.
Okay.
We saw afterwards when he was scouting before.
He didn't do it this time.
Oh wait, no, that was Trap. I'm sorry. Why am I talking about Trap? But yeah, Trap.
Oh no, you were totally right. Yeah.
Like just a crazy.
Now hold on, that could still be driven into that Widow
He
mine.
might push him to the side there. Oh boy.
Oh man.
That is not a very common occurrence. Classic does not lose a lot of first oracles.
TY is like Dr. Manhattan this game. He's just manipulating everything. It's funny too. I mean, losing the Oracle is pretty big, but you know, just getting that SCV out and then duping him and killing off one Adept. I mean, these are not game-winning moves. These are just like, oh wow, that puts you like a few percentage points ahead.
Yeah,
cool,
yeah.
but I mean, that's the game TY plays, man.
Whoa! It's not really finding much damage anywhere. He was making a Banshee. His siege tank, a Liberator. Okay, a third Nexus now. I mean, a third command center. So that is actually in front of Classics. Classic, in the meantime, looks like he's going to be taking a third base. He's getting that Robo, though. I don't see like a ton of coherence with how Classic is playing right now.
Yeah.
Like, I don't actually see what his plan is yet, right? It seems like he's playing slightly scared. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
If you have already opened Oracle and you're doing things like getting his shield battery, right? So this has to be him giving a big nod towards Banshee play. I guess he scouted the add-on on the Stargate.
Yeah, and he's thinking, okay, like,
yeah,
this has already been a little bit rough. I need to definitely shut this down.
There's no cloak or anything, though.
But there's this push headed out now.
Yeah.
And this is just going to set up shop right over here.
Can he do anything with this push? Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, the bunker's coming.
Could. He has a siege tank. I mean, the bunker's not going to get up, I would say. Yeah, look at that target the siege tank. That's a really good move. The oracles actually get split off from each other.
He actually gets both oracles. And this is, well, I don't think this bunker's going to finish in time before these Marines can actually just get shot down by everything, if I'm not mistaken here, right?
Oh, man,
but,
and the Liberator to the main base.
Dude.
What? The Liberator.
It's like, I'm out of here. I'm not going to let you take me.
Oh, my God.
With that recall, it doesn't even take any damage on that Liberator.
That was wild. And he actually killed basically all the units in
I believe he even got the Phoenix, too. We saw the Marines were shooting the Phoenix ahead of time.
He did?
Yeah, he did. He got, so he's killed all 3 oracles that were made this game. He's killed the Phoenix.
Yeah. Good stuff. All right, this move out,
This is actually a little bit too ambitious, I think. He's like, try 5 Marines, a tank, and a Widow Mine on first side.
Tastes that's 6 Marines.
Well, that changes everything.
Yeah.
Now, hold on. If the Stalkers are just in the right spot, can he just take this on right away?
He needs to target down this siege tank. But that gives time, actually, for the mine to burrow.
Whoa. Barely got there.
All right, well, if the force fields go down, he should be able to clean this still. But look at that. Once again, sending in the Liberator. Oh, my God, TY. Oh, my God. TY. What the hell am I watching? Classic's supposed to be the best PvT out there. Someone needs to buff Protoss. This is madness.
Look at this.
You see this? He's trying to drop sentries to kill a siege tank.
Look at this. This is so crazy how good, or how well he's playing here. Is the bunker going to finish? Oh my God.
It does indeed.
Look, Liberator's still moving around. There's been a dozen probes killed. And I mean, this is not a lot of units that TY is using. That was one of the reasons why we were saying, well, like in a head-to-head fight, it shouldn't quite work out that well. But tactically, what he's doing is so smart. How long has Classic not been mining from various bases? Basically, since this engagement started. I mean, the first one.
Dude, I feel like I have just watched that scene from the superhero movies where the Incredible Hulk grabs the enemy by the leg and just smashes him into the ground over and over.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It's just like, look at me, I'm stronger than you.
And
he
then
just
throws him into space.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Like, this has been pretty darn impressive by TY, the multitasking. These little groups army where we're like, we can see the whole map, basically, right? Well, I mean, I guess we see what you guys see, but it's like, no, you shouldn't attack right there. But then the Liberators are everywhere, and it makes it work out perfectly. Craziness, but Classic's going to try to fight back. I'd be very surprised if he's able to make anything happen here.
Well, I mean, he's just trying to buy a little bit of time. But you know what? He's stopping the mining.
Yeah, that's good.
I don't know about this one sentry here.
Yeah.
He just wants to be one of the boys.
Oh, that was a good sentry, actually. Look at that. That sentry alley-oop, that kill.
So, Classic needs to keep putting pressure on this. It's going to be a lot harder than it looks even. Because, you know, when Classic takes damage like he did earlier on, a lot of times games like this will end up with the Terran just walking over the Protoss later on. They just have way more stuff, and there's not much you can do. And, you know, I guess ideally you'd want to try to have counterattacks set up, but TY might just, you know, eliminate that as a possibility.
There's just a ton of Stalkers out right now. That is the entire game plan as of this moment. But very shortly, TY is going to have Combat Shield, Stim, 1-1 against... Is there any upgrades? Is there like a +1 yet? I don't know.
Not sure.
Regardless, though, just the army quality of Classic is like 0 next to TY.
Yeah, I mean, one thing about Stalkers is you can, you know, as long as you have Blink, try to come in there and do little bits of damage, and you can blink away, and especially with the Warp Prism here. You know, it's definitely something. Okay, now hold on, let's see.
Yeah.
This might be the moment where real damage starts coming in here.
Oh, man. Some of the Stalkers dying over on the left side, but he's trying to get damage done with his main drop here.
Hey, this might be enough here. He just needs to get that Warp Prism back out. The Zealots are going to be cleaned up, no problem. 13 SCVs were killed.
But when TY gathers his army together and attacks, Like, you better just chrono nonstop on this Psy Storm that's about to start here for Classic, because his actual army is so weak. He's just multitasking super well right now. Like, you can see how fearsome this guy is. Imagine if he had lost like all of his probes in his army twice already this game. He would probably have killed TY by now, but here we are, and TY has just a ridiculously strong army.
Okay, so he sets up the auto turrets over here. And TY is going to begin this push coming up here and hitting the third base. Now, Classic is just taking a fourth. This might be an afterthought, to be honest, because I think there's a chance that TY just moves from this position towards the west side of the map and just closes it out.
This is a very tough one right now. Okay, it's 1-1 to 1-1.
Yeah, now there's 2 Immortals inside this mix along with the Archons. That's definitely something that's going for him.
He gets an anti-armor missile down, so that's definitely going to help quite a bit. That is a lot of Marauders.
Yeah, with this many Marauders, even with Immortals, I don't think the Immortals can kill the Marauders in time.
No.
And we saw this tug-of-war happen where now TY is going to continue to close in. His supply growing as Classic shrinks.
Classic just doesn't have anything left after this, and TY going to take a lead. It's looking like, oh my God, the season of GSL is too good. I thought Roguemaru would probably end up winning this season, but now the way that I've seen TY play
I feel
so far,
silly saying I had no clue who was going to get out of this group. I mean, it's not over yet, but TY is looking really, really strong.
Yeah. I mean, so far today, his games have been out of control, and he's playing against 2 of the top Protoss out there. God, just some of this multitasking with those Liberators flying in.
You know, even that the footwork, his scouting SCV, and then hiding some of his army to get the Adept.
He's so on top of things.
The game could have still gone like that, the later part of the game for TY, had that never happened, but he's so good. And that's why he's so hard to beat tonight, is because he's just doing everything right. He's a tactical genius.
Yeah, just crazy. You know, I was watching these games earlier. I'm like, damn, I want to go and play StarCraft. But after watching that, just the Reaper and SCV, I'm like, no. That's so painful. Oh, my God.
Crazy. All right, we're going to Acid Plant for Game 2.
Classic. Splice. TY.
You know, definitely part of what was going on in that game was Classic Scouts. The Tech Lab, Banshees are in vogue right now. He kind of over-countered that, right? And it wasn't coming. It was like more of a regular push.
Yeah.
And when you see the Banshee with that army, you're like, oh, okay, I have to go deal with that. And then the Liberator flies in, right? And that's where TY really took control of that game. I think that this game shouldn't look like that. As good as TY has looked tonight, just seeing how much Classic got done when he had lost everything. He's just sitting there with like Blink and like 1 upgrade and a Prism. And like TY has 60 more army supply and 3 saturated bases and more tech. And Classic still did massive damage to him, right? This should be a much closer game, I would say.
We gotta hope so. I guess we just need to start seeing when we have these little engages at the start, just how good TY is gonna be, and if Classic can step it up a little bit, because TY, I mean, we've casted a lot of TY games in our life, but today he's looking even better than normal, you know?
Yeah, he is. Everything looks super on point. Even down to the micro and all.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, I'm not too shocked by this. It's pretty normal we see, you know, someone proxy something in a best of 3 even, but is it gonna get spotted? Okay,
he's scouting all sorts of other locations. This is super close.
Yeah, this is definitely one of the spots he would hide something. So if a player did want to check everywhere, there's no reason why you wouldn't check there. But it seems like TY only checked the left side of the map, and now he's heading towards Classic's base. Now, you can still sometimes get inside their base, and then when you see what they don't have, you can suspect this is coming as well.
Well, He doesn't actually get in this time. This is kind of one of the reasons why it's good. There's no straight jump up path into the main base.
Yeah.
So you kind of assume that if there's a Stargate in there, it'll be there. And generally, you assume Stargate against Classic. Oh, reactored Cyclones here.
Oh, look at that.
So if he hasn't moved out when the Oracle comes, yeah, the first one I believe will pop out just as the Oracle is. So I think we can defend this reasonably well.
Yeah, they should be synced, but just because he has what it takes to take that on doesn't mean it's not going to do that damage. So we want to watch very carefully. Now he's hitting a starport here.
Oh boy,
these guys.
Yeah,
and their sneakiness.
There's a lot of it.
Okay, now he wants to draw the Cyclones up.
Yeah,
and it looks like it's worked.
Yeah, that's a very good move. The Cyclone's just chasing down these Adepts, but there comes the Oracle.
Good reaction time here, though, by TY, only losing 2 right away.
And look, he wants to shade into the Natural. I'm not sure how much damage he'll actually get with that.
Yeah, he has a Hellion that's come up over there.
But
now, keep in mind that, oh, hold on. There's another Oracle over here, and that's getting targeted down right now here by this Cyclone.
Oh, a little bit of misclick there, but
yeah.
Still kills a few SCVs. Delays that supply depot a little bit as well. Oh my god, he scouts the
Wow,
Stargate.
look at that. He just ditches his strategy immediately. TY is such a decisive player.
Yeah. Which is really fantastic. But Classic this game, I feel like he absolutely did enough damage to justify this proxy Stargate. At 8 SCVs, really not bad. And he's still got Oracles. In fact, he's making a 3rd one right now. Everything's safe for him. He made a couple shield barriers at home. I think he's just slightly nervous of, a couple Cyclones walking up and killing him.
Okay, the next Oracle does get out before that pylon's been destroyed. We don't really see anything to defend over here.
God.
Okay, another Cyclone comes up. There are some Marines firing on this. Maybe you can actually try to drive that back into the initial Cyclone.
Yeah.
I guess there is a lot more. Oh, man. Okay, I love what Classic's doing here.
Yeah.
He's coming and he's doing so much damage. He wants so badly for TY to be limping into mid-game that Classic can assert himself more steadily.
Wow. Just really great harassment all over the place. And TY trying his best to defend. Oh my god, look at the worker count right now, 42 to 29. Thank God he just started that 3rd Nexus, or this game would be just about over, I feel.
Yeah, no kidding. TY taking the beating.
So where does TY go from here?
Well, I think he has to just stay back, because if you notice, Classic's going to regroup. He's going to attack in here again and just hit wherever softer. He can either have everything go to the main, or I'm sorry, the natural, or he can have the Oracles go into the main, and then the ground army come in there and try to hit the natural. Now with siege tanks, I don't know if Stalkers alone are going to cut it. But let's find out.
Nice, diving on top of everything here with these Oracles. Marines doing some good damage. The siege tank on the high ground, definitely a hero here.
Yeah, well, he's denying mining here. He can actually, if he stays here long enough, he can probably take out that command center. He's going to target that down.
Yeah,
dude, he's so good.
But TY at the same time, he actually landed his floating away starport as an additional mind game here.
Run!
And so he's trying to get some counter harassment done.
Watch TY counter pushes and wins the game, and I'm like, okay, and I just run down there and grab the trophy and give it to him. This season's over, everybody.
Yeah.
Okay, so the push is coming down now. Now, he's doing a really good job. The Liberator, it's important not just that it stops the workers from mining, but it stays alive. He wants Classic to make a mistake somewhere. And we're going to see if that moment actually happens. Now, TY has a pretty sparse little army, but I don't want to count that out just yet because of what we've already seen him do here in game 1 between these two.
Yeah, targeting down that siege tank.
The tank lives!
Oh, gets that extra volley.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. Liberator edges forward. Come at me, bro, Stalker. He's going to send another tank down. Does he try to attack it again? With that, even just make sure to target down that last probe. There's more gateways being added in here. I think TY actually is going to have to respect Classic here and go back home. But again, it's pretty terrifying to see how good this guy is.
Dude, it was
with small numbers of units.
And to double underline what you said, after that was all said and done, it was then 40 workers to 43. Previously, it was 28 to 42. So TY went up net 12 workers. Classic went up net 1 worker.
Yeah.
This is a big deal. 42 is not enough to saturate 3 bases, so wow.
See this weird thing where the SCVs are trying to repair the Cyclone. The Cyclone's on a patrol, so it's like nothing's quite. All right, finally. He got it.
Looks so funny.
Yeah. Okay. No tag on the army, actually. Ooh, and that's why he's going to blink inside the main, and he wants the Oracle as backup. Wait, did he just mess up? Or did he?
No,
I thought some of those units blinked back.
A little bit of harassment here. Maybe he's going to recall them or just try to blink out, I guess.
I think he's going to
took TY a little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Committed maybe the recall, but okay, loses one Stalker. Definitely worthwhile harassment. Classic always finding that extra damage.
Yeah.
Always.
These games are so good.
Yeah, today
it's like
is
these guys are
amazing.
just not. This is by far the best day of GSL we've had this season. I mean,
Which is a lot to say. We had
this
such
is
a
our
good round
best
of
season
32.
so far. Yeah.
There was a few days around at 32 where I'm like, oh my God. Not going to pass that this year. Oh, forget about that. The true group of death.
So we got to take note here. Third base being taken by TY. Now Classic takes the very bottom left base, which is actually an area that TY might not look for immediately. TY might be looking for bases like we just see over here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I guess you're right, actually. People don't normally take that as their fourth.
It's actually it's actually much farther away.
Yeah, I never see anyone take that.
I mean, I don't think it's like bad, but usually you take the base that's a little bit north of your second base.
I guess especially if you're going to be pressuring right here, it can help a little bit
right.
as well. You're kind of
It's counterintuitive, but in some sense that's why it's good, because a good player might not expect it.
So here he doesn't have charge quite yet, so he's being very careful with these pushes, still trying to get some harassment done. Whoa! Oracle's somehow living here.
Yeah. Stimpack is finally finishing. That's what kind of pressure has actually been on TY this game.
Yeah. Wow. 1-1 finishing up there as well. 1-1 is done for Classic. Starts 2-2 immediately.
That's right.
As does TY. So both these guys on top of their upgrades. Wow. Ghost Academy coming up as well.
You know, it's so funny because, like, only the very best players in the world, when they have one Oracle like that and they need to rely, because they're trying to out-expand their opponent, they need those tags if the push happens. The fact that Classic has the guts, the fact that he has the balls to try to come out and just snipe one SCV for a second and go away, it's like, wow, okay, you really are like
there's
one of the very best players ever, because if you lost that, suddenly TY might be able to surprise you somewhere on the map, but all right. Okay, now he does finally lose that Oracle.
Got to point out that there's some Hellbats out. He made some Hellbats.
Yeah, but it almost seems like he knew this kind of attack was coming. See all these Zealots up here?
Like, that is a lot of Zealots, so clearly Hellbats are going to do all right. You know, Psystorm can kind of kill them off and stuff, but you never really see Hellbats added into this type of composition.
Well, I think TY is just on the next level.
Yeah.
Now, again, this is so many Zealots. Let's actually see how this goes down.
Well, watch the Psystorms here.
Oh! Okay, there's one of these tanks is isolated down here. The Zealot and Archon are going to dive on that.
Some ridiculous Psystorms coming down here.
You know, I think what TY's doing is really impressive, but I don't think there's enough space for this army to hide from over here if any more good Psystorms come down.
Oh my
man.
God. Yeah, he came here with like, what, 7, 8 Psystorms?
That's it. GG.
Wow.
Classic takes game 2.
Dude, I tell you, Classic did good damage early on, kind of kept control, but TY brought it back into a real game with his ridiculous harassment, his Liberators and all that. So but that push was like perfectly timed too, before there was really ghosts out. Like one ghost was popping out as TY was dying.
You know, who takes the initiative in game 3? That's what I want to know. Seems like you could start throwing some jabs in early on, at least with these two players in this match. Whoever gets the first few hits off, it begins to grow to an almost insurmountable amount, and one player crushes the other one. But I don't know. That last game, they both proxied each other, but Classic started first, and we're going to go to our new map, Lost and Found, so maybe we'll see some new styles or tricks we haven't quite seen yet.
Maybe. Definitely some proxy locations might be a little bit harder to scout as it is a newer map. It's a pretty big map, though. So take that as you will, Tasis.
Okay, our players are in the lobby. The game is now loading up. Again, the winner of this best of 3 moves on to the top 8 here in the GSL.
Classic. Splice, TY.
How do these guys go for it this game? Gas first from TY.
We have the first scouting probe coming out now for Classic. I just don't know what to expect. And I'm really impressed, by the way, with how Classic handled game 2. Because TY looked unstoppable after game 1.
Yeah, well, after games 1 and 2 against Trap, and then game 1 against Classic, I was like, well, God,
well,
give this guy the trophy.
You gotta nerf your brain, you're too smart. This is,
and even the game that we just saw, you know, he took some significant damage early on and still made it into something. And doing some moves that you never really see, like adding in Hellbats. Of course, at the end of the day, it didn't work. He dies still, but, you know, Classic definitely worked for that victory.
Okay, so the probe's coming in here, interrupting any command center that could be made, but this isn't going to last for too much longer. And it finally goes down. Probe turns around now. The Reaper's almost out now for the Terran. And I guess one of the highlights we've had from TY so far overall is the way he scouts with an SCV and a Reaper to be in his opponent's base for an inordinate amount of time.
Did he send an SCV this time? No, it doesn't look like it. He's just going to go up with the Reaper. There's a jump-in location, so shouldn't be too much of a problem for him to get a scout down. Like that Stargate once again from Classic, still the standard of the matchup.
So for those of you guys that are not as familiar with all these pros, TY has been playing forever as a pro gamer, since he was like really, really little. I believe his father actually introduced him to StarCraft at a super young age because his dad was a super fan of the game. And that's like the state that we're finally at now. You know, like those, you know, if you go to a chess tournament, the scariest person is a little kid where you're like, oh no, there's an 8-year-old here.
They learn.
There's an 8-year-old here. Well, watch out.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, it's like that. Like he's like one of those people that he's grown up and he's just still playing and he's so good.
He really, you know, found his stride more recently as well. Let's not forget he started winning a bunch of tournaments last year. He won like, what was it, 300 grand in 3 months or so? Just insane amounts of money.
Yeah, and he's really hitting his peak here.
Yeah.
Now, we don't have anything quite like that in StarCraft 2 where someone's super young, but I think that's eventually going to happen. Where it's going to be someone like Innovation losing to somebody who still believes in Santa Claus. It's like, oh, God, like, this is going to be savage, man. But yeah, people are getting better and better and better at StarCraft.
Yeah, these top guys, though, man, they are holding on tight to their skill levels. Oh, my God. Is that going to? No, it's going to play through. Okay. I was going to say, that's a very tricky mind placement.
Yeah, this is... People are getting so creative with this. Okay, now let's see where it goes. We already saw that he altered the path a little bit.
Oh, my God. He saw that, too, in turn.
Yeah, yeah.
That was very quick by Classic. That was almost death.
Crazy. There's always this, like, broad meta game of, like, where do we hide the mines now?
Yeah.
You have to try to figure out the location that really nobody's doing. It used to be just out, not exactly in a random spot, but just way out in the middle of the map, because a lot of times even the very best player might not be watching his Oracle when it's in transit, moving towards the base. That's a lot of times you're going back and you're making this building or that building.
There's some thought process as to when you start looking at your Oracle again.
I'm out of here.
But yeah, it's like one of the funny things. We've seen some of these top Terrans that move their Widow Mine out to literally as far as they possibly can before it'll get seen to try to catch it. But one thing I like that we've seen over and over here is TY getting a Tech Lab starport and then not really utilizing Cloak Banshee, even though he has it, right? Like, because you have to counter Cloak Banshee so hard right now or it kills all your probes. So kind of an interesting thing, but it looks like Classic does not over-defend against that this time.
Okay, one of these early pushes from TY. A lot of times these kind of pushes, they seem like a little bit counterintuitive because it's so little.
Yeah.
But it's one of these things where the synergy of the units he has together and the Liberator coming in. Yeah. Okay, now the Cyclone is set off, and so he decides to pair the Liberator with the army. Now the angle that Classic is coming in actually could be quite good, but the Widow Mine gets down.
Wow, if he had sniped that, maybe there would have been a chance here, but That's going to become very cost efficient, isn't it?
Okay, hold on. He's coming in here now.
All right, let's see that shade on top of those Marines. They definitely are being cleaned up pretty quickly here.
Liberator's still doing a decent amount of damage, and actually that could not have been handled better.
Wow, yeah, that was a sick hold right there. Well, that was a cutesy little push from TY, but getting smashed this time.
Now, I think this is pretty smart by Classic to check. He wants to try to counter push over here. He knows that last time there was a couple Marines in the tank that came up, so he's going to see if he can't take out even more. Oh my God, I think pressure's going to begin to mount here.
Oh my God.
Oh no, he's going to come in here now. He's going to take out this tank. I don't know what exactly would be back home, but that should have been basically everything for TY.
Yeah, he doesn't even have that many production buildings right now. He's frantically making a Liberator, but that's not going to be enough. Oh, that's a big move back home, but I mean, I think he's just not going to be able to hold, right? Okay, he's going to repair this Liberator, losing so much of these Oracles.
No, I don't think he even can because the Oracles, yeah. There it is, GG
wow.
Classic. That was fast.
Yeah, it was. Well, you know what, TY, he got a little bit too aggressive with a little bit too tech of a push into a third command center. And when all of his army got slaughtered twice, Classic's like, oh, I kill you, that's it. That was a sick series, though. That was really good. You know, Classic in first place. I'm a little bit surprised, but you know what? If you fix your PVZ that hard that you 2-0 Dark, power to you. Well deserved.
Yeah. You know, TY, those pushes he does, they're very technical. Only the very best players can really pull them off at GSL Codas levels.
Yeah.
But you can see why there's a risk involved. His Classic does a perfect engage.
Yeah.
He chases down what was going to be the reinforcements, and you don't have nothing. Friendo.
Yeah, and the micro was just so perfect too. The shade in, he waited, and we'll talk more about that after interview time.
축하드립니다. 네, 감사합니다.
It wasn't an easy group for you, Classic, but you made it over the round of 8. Congratulations. Thank you.
보였는데요. 기분 좋으셨나 봐요.
사실 영우 이기고 세레머니를 하고 싶었는데 제가
I wanted to do a winning ceremony actually when I beat Dark.
1위로
But I did one last one. I did one last year, and then I got eliminated. Anyways, I'm super happy that I made it out first.
깨달음이 있었나요? 2, 3세트는 좀 내가 빨리 들어가야겠다.
So in the winners matches against TY, you lost game 1. What happened back there?
좀 수비적으로 하면 너무
Well, I think TY prepared really well today.
두 번째 판에 좀
If I do standard belts,
했는데 그게 좀 잘
I actually don't
통해가지고
think I have much of a chance against him.
이겼던 것 같아요.
So I tried to do some different stuff with my Stargate and worked out.
확실히 이 상대의 3방향 견제는 좀 많이 짜증이 나셨을 것 같아요.
네, 1경기 때 너무 컨트롤이 좋아가지고
네.
It was amazing.
휘둘려서
Yeah, his
주도권을
control,
가져라는 생각을
his multitasking is
가지고
just
했는데
very
그게
impressive.
통한 것 같습니다.
I had a hard time against him.
자, 오늘 저그전 또 나를 뽑은 이 박영우 선수에게 압도적인 2대0 승리를 거두셨습니다. 자, 저그전 준비를 많이 해오신 것 같거든요.
제가 그렇게 시드한테 뽑힐 정도의 실력은 아닌 것 같은데 저를 많이 이겨서 그런지 되게 자신감 있게 그냥 뽑아버리더라고요.
I don't think I'm that weak
너무
against
화가 나서
seed players.
영우는 무조건
But he's always
이겨야겠다
got so much
해서
confidence against me.
준비를
He
엄청
picks me
많이
right away.
했는데
So I had a mindset, no matter what, I'm going to make sure I beat Dark today.
이렇게 영우를 이길 수 있었던 것 같아요.
네, 역시 준비된 김도우 선수는 달랐습니다. 이 좋은 빌드 알아보신 거겠죠? 이 투 우관 빌드를 보여주셨는데 이 빌드의 장점 뭐라고 생각하세요?
영우가 히드라를 안 뽑고 아무것도 안 보고 바퀴를 처음에 뽑고 시작해가지고 그걸 좀 노리는 빌드로 썼고
Dark does not really do as
맞아떨어져서
much scouting in early game.
손도 잘 풀리고 이렇게 이길 수 있었던 것 같아요.
He produces hydras and roaches a lot, so I try to play around that and look for any mistakes
정말 그
in his early
정석적인
game
우간
and
운영을
punish.
잘 보여주셨거든요. 요즘 이런 빌드를 쓰는 데 있어서 요즘 대세나 이런 플레이가 자신에게 잘
So you did a
맞는다고
proxy
생각하시나요?
Stargate.
일단
When you look at the trends in these days, like the
빌드는
meta,
자신이 있었고 두
do you think
번째
that's a
같은
strong
경우도
style?
수비적으로 하는 거에 또 자신이
So,
있었기 때문에 그냥 무난히
starting with 2 Stargates, I was
후반에
definitely really
생각으로
confident I was taking
임했는데
it in the right direction.
잘 맞고 이길 수 있었던
And I knew
것
if I could last until late
오늘
game, I
이렇게
should be fine.
1위로 C조를 통과하게 됐는데요. 자, 다음 8강에 진출하게 됐습니다. 8강은 이제 D조에서 2위로 진출하는 선수와 맞붙게 될 거예요. 그 조도 만만치가 않거든요. 투 프로토스, 투 테란이 있는데 김대혁, 김유진, 변현우, 고병재 선수가 대기하고 있습니다. 혹시 만나고 싶은 꼭 올라와 줬으면 하는 선수 있으세요?
Gumio.
변현우 선수랑 한번 하고 싶긴 한데.
왜 제일
And SOS, sorry.
테란전이
Who do you want to face?
좀
And he
자신
says,
있고
I think
작년에
that
제가 대여비한테 한번
beyond-
작년이 아니구나. 저번
I think I'm
시즌에서
having a lot of confidence against
8강에서
Terran in general.
떨어져가지고
And in the last season, I was eliminated in the round of 8.
네, 변현우 선수가 그럼
By
진출할
Zerg,
거라고
so I
생각은
prefer to
하시나요?
just face off against a Terran. I want to have a comfortable round of 8.
변현우 선수 아니면 대여비일 것 같은데
네.
한번 응원을 해보도록 하겠습니다.
Says
알겠습니다.
that being said, I don't know
자,
if Beyond's
김도우
necessarily going to
선수의
make it, but it should be beyond her
8강전
stats.
기대가 되는데요. 마지막으로
rooting for them
팬들에게
to go
한마디
through.
부탁드립니다.
Any shout-outs to your
오늘
fans?
이렇게 1위로 진출하게 되었는데 저번 시즌처럼 8강에서 떨어지지 않고
So I made it out of the group
이번에
first. I'm
준비
really
잘해서 꼭
hope I
우승할
can
수
keep
있도록 할 테고
moving
이혜정
forward,
선수가 굉장히
and I'm
연습을
going to do
많이
my best to not get
도와줘서
eliminated in the quarterfinals.
고맙다라고 말하고 싶어요.
네, 알겠습니다.
I want to say
고마운
thank you
분에
to a
대한
laser who
인사도
helped me
잊지
a lot for
않았는데요.
today's
다시 한번
matches.
진출 축하드립니다.
And I want to
네,
express my
감사합니다.
gratitude towards him.
네, 이렇게 1위
wow.
진출자
More
김도우
and
선수
more
만나봤습니다.
players.
계속해서 GSL
Mentioning
이벤트
laser.
Yeah,
안내해드립니다.
it was not just him, but Deer also mentioning a laser and how he has very strong ZVP. Really cool to hear.
Very exciting stuff. Well, we've got one player out. There's 3 left. Coming up next, we're going to have the losers match.
Okay, well, it doesn't look like a losers match to me. It's dark first trap.
They're all winners here. By the way, we are doing a season 2 uniform purchase. I would, if you're going to get that, do it like now, because I don't know how many of those uniforms we have or still have.
Yeah, well, we have that add up, so hopefully some go buy it.
All right, that does it for now. We'll be back after the short break here at the GSL.
but the scars don't mend. No what you get when you're playing with fire. Wish I was a little bit wiser. Never knew my heart could be marked with the next, marked with the next, marked with the next. That's what you get when you're playing with fire. Just to get a little bit higher. Never knew my heart could be marked with the next, marked with the next, marked with the next. That's what you get. You're playing with fire. I should have been a little bit wiser.
아프리카 TV에는 당신이 아는 것보다 다양한 인정이 살고 있죠. 말 많은 인정, 발 빠른 인정, 잘 먹는 인정, 영리한 인정, 친절한 인정까지. 모든 게 컨텐츠가 되고 누구나 주인공이 되는 세상. 알고 보면 멋진 세상.
Are you free? Africa TV.
GSL Season 2, Goddess, Overgrowth.
We're back. It's Trap versus Dark coming up next. The loser of this best of 3 is going to be eliminated.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know who takes this. I feel like it's supposed to be Dark. Does that make sense? Dark is a little bit more accomplished than Trap.
Yeah, of course.
Trap is, of course, a great player. The problem in calling this one is that these guys both faced off against such great players.
Yeah, indeed.
TY and Classic just murdered.
Yeah, just, you know, I think it's actually maybe Trap will be able to take this, to be honest. Just kind of remembering back to what that series looked like for Dark against Classic. Trap can do the same type of stuff as Classic pretty handedly, to be honest, in this matchup. I've always put Trap's PVZ actually above Classic's, although, of course, tonight Classic is really on fire, or was. Now he's already out of the group.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but you're certainly right. Dark is a more accomplished guy here.
All right, let's go. Game 1, Trap versus Dark.
Jin Air Green Wings, Trap.
He sent his probe out right away.
Dark.
Dark, I mean, he looked good against Classic still, I thought. He was really twisting himself into a knot, trying to solve the little puzzle that Classic was giving him that Zest kind of brought to the forefront against Solar.
Some Dark support here. Gotta support Dark, man. I love that. I think it was an interview that was done in the signature series for WCS.
Yeah.
Maybe this was 2 or 3 years ago, where Dark mentioned he does not want to just be one of the best players. He wants to be the absolute very best player.
Yeah.
Ever.
Like, remember, he wants to basically be Slayer's boxer, right? Where it's like you're synonymous with StarCraft. And the thing is, he was doing so well at that time, but still not quite winning. And then we're, you know, a year or 2 in the future of that, and it's exactly the same. Dark is still one of the best Zergs in the world, but he's lacking championships.
It's interesting as well because we're waiting to see if anybody can push past that membrane and get to the all-time greatest. And it seems like Rogue might be the closest right now.
Yes, yeah, he is.
The only
He's
thing
the only Zerg
the only thing he
from
didn't win
Korea
recently was GSL.
Yeah.
He did not win the last GSL we had.
And it's like, out of all the Zergs, you know, it's Dark and Rogue that we really talk about right now in Korea. And then, of course, Sue from time to time. But the only one that actually wins things is Rogue. So it's, you know, it feels like Dark's goal is getting further away from him. He needs to have a huge period of dominance to be like that.
Yeah,
Rogue is the only one on that path.
This is why this season's so important to him.
Yeah, like right now, the players that are on the path to be remembered forever as like true gods are like, what, Stats and Rogue and Maru, basically.
Now look at where this Stargate was hidden.
Yeah.
Looks like the Overlord might be able to catch it.
I think you're right.
Yeah, I thought if
Which
he
is a
didn't
big
turn right
deal.
away.
Wow, he does.
Okay, good spot there.
That's really important too, because when you get a stalker out quickly, you're trying to tell them, I'm not going Stargate.
Right.
Right, yeah, and that's why he hit it as well, but he does go Stargate, it does get scouted.
He's trying to make the Zerg react to something else.
Yeah.
And then discount that could be coming at him, but...
A lot of times Stalker will... It's like Archon drop is coming, you know, maybe the DT Shrine one. And it could be anything, of course, but, you know, that's why you get it, is to stop the scouting. So...
Okay, so the Oracle is going to be heading up in a second here. Looks like he wants to actually spot this Overlord first and get that eliminated. Now, sometimes moves like this can even telegraph what a player's trying to do. Or it's like, well, you so worried about my Overlord right now? You going to try to hide something later on, bro?
Yeah, well, I guess he didn't get to hide the Oracle, so he knows that Spores will be ready.
Yeah, that's
May
true
as well
as
go
well.
ahead and kill this.
Well, let's see if he does anything dramatic after this.
Yeah.
Because here's where it is basically lights out for the Zerg.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it. Okay, the Robo right at the front. And Lynx can run in and see that pretty easily.
Yeah, that's not hidden at all.
Yeah. Now, how Dark is playing this, he just got an Evolution Chamber, right? Wow, that was a good kill, actually. That Ling was circling back around to see the Robo. Huh. But I haven't... Yeah, he's getting melee attack. He's making Lings right now. So it looks like he's going to try to force a cancel on the third base. And he hasn't made Roachhorn yet. Okay, there's the Roachhorn.
So the Oracles are going to come up now. Looks like they're going to try to go into the main. Already the Queen in a pretty good position here. And actually targeting on that Queen initially. Okay, 2 kills, not bad.
Kind of cute
and
micro.
We have that War Prism coming up here. So Trap wants to do something pretty quickly. And here we go. The Templar Archives comes down. So this is all looking pretty standard.
Yeah.
You know, for this, for a way that Protoss might want to play here. There's nothing too dramatic that Trap feels like he needs to come out here with. I'd be curious to see where Trap would evaluate himself against Stark. Again, 4 more kills.
Yeah, really good. He's actually got a very solid amount of drone kills with these Oracles. And so far, it's really just Lings. Ooh, Burrow on the way. Wasn't expecting to see Burrow early in this game, or maybe even in this game at all.
Yeah, we've seen this actually a little bit more here in this season, where people are getting a little bit sneakier with Burrow.
Yeah.
And you know, it's
what do you
one
think
of these
this
things.
Burrow's for? Is it for harass or?
I don't know. I mean, it might be to spot expansions or to spot where the army's moving out on the map.
Yeah, that could be.
You know,
delay the third.
You know, the thing is with Burrow is I feel like generally it's so multi-purposed that you can kind of do anything with it.
I know what it is.
Oh, hold on.
He's going to go cancel the third base, then he can burrow a Ling under it.
Yeah. Well, that's another thing. Yeah, absolutely, he can do, right? Now the Oracle's back here, so the Lings can't really get the cancel until there's an insurmountable amount of them. And I don't know if that moment's going to come because the, especially with 2 Oracles out. But I think in general, Burrow's just good to have. If you know that you might be going.
It's definitely a good upgrade,
Yeah. There are games where you don't really have it at all, but okay. So the Lings are going to come down now. Is there enough defense?
This is one of the matchups, too, where we don't see it too much. But anyways, we'll see what he ends up using. It looks like there's enough defense that the Lings aren't able to do anything. It's funny to see the Archons come home.
Well, like, you know, he does not want to lose that third base, but you're right. The Archons are not causing Zerg to hemorrhage anything back at home. And normally we see Archon drops do a lot of damage, and the Protoss can still lose the game. So, I mean, the amount of impact Trap has had on this game has been, I'd say, somewhat minimal here.
Yeah, like the Oracles did really well, but since the Oracles, oh my god, they continue to do really well. Well, you know what? You don't really need to Archon harass if your Oracles are going to get 15 drone kills.
You know, I don't know if that was a part of the plan here, but yeah, he's gotten so many kills here.
Yeah, it's
really impressive. Now, I don't know if he's going to be able to get much more. But, you know, Zerg did invest a lot in these Lings. I mean, a push is inevitably going to come out now.
Yeah.
There are 2 Immortals with this group, and there were Roaches that were made initially to try to combat the Archons that could have been dropped over there. There's a lot of gateways done. Let's see how much muscle Trap's push actually has.
Lings trying to get some counter rest done. The Oracles are everywhere, though. The Oracles have really been the story of the game. Here comes the push now. There are some Roaches out. But with those 2 Immortals, like you said, going to be useful. Yep. He does have Burrow, so he can try to hide some of these
I got to say, Dark's done a good job separating these Zealots from the Archons and Immortals so far. He can shave off all those Zealots. Maybe he can pull off something. A pretty strong push coming in here. Now down at the 4th base.
Dude, the flank from Dark here is actually really fantastic. Forces those Archons up for now.
Is
the
this
Queen's
army
coming in?
Is it too spread out? War Prism still a factor in this game.
Oh, the Queen's way mismicro.
Oh, so good.
That looked like it was a right click on the Prism.
Yeah, it for sure was. And now he's being driven back. Okay,
the Immortals.
Snags the Immortal.
Yeah, the Immortal's still being very, very valuable here.
Trap might be able to push this all the way here.
Maybe. He's kept those Immortals alive a really long time. Now all the Queens seem to be dead, so the Oracles can even come in and fight.
But he needs more mass in front of these Immortals, like more Zealots, for instance, if the Immortals are going to keep getting kills.
Saves this base. I think that an important thing here is that there's only 1 Robo up right now. So the Immortal count isn't going to be 100% out of control.
By the way, he needs to get a Warp in or something, or one of these Immortals is going to die. Only 2 can fit inside the Warp Prism.
Or he'll just kill all the Roaches stasis. You ever think of that?
I don't know, man. It's a lot. But yeah, I mean, that was Trap has basically been stopped as far as that push goes. It was very well handled there by Dark, but of course, Trap is going to come in again eventually. But the fact that the warp-in wasn't able to happen, it had to happen back at home. Oh my god, he just loses those 2 Immortals.
That is a big deal.
Which means he might not be able to push it all here.
He had the most painful look on his face when he lost those.
Oh, really?
Oh, man. He really just grimaced and shook his head.
Well, that's like everything that's going for you. Is you get a high enough Immortal count,
it's
to
so
force them to keep making Roaches and Lings or whatever else they can get, because they cannot afford to lose to your push right at that moment. But to have those 2 picked off here, I mean, if I'm Dark, I'm feeling very confident. And he's getting a lot more Ravagers coming up here, a lot more Lings. It might be Dark's turn to start fighting.
Lingbane Roach Ravager against someone who doesn't have Psystorm yet, you have to be feeling like you can get something serious done there. Go kill a base at minimum. He's getting Infestation Pit now. Is this to rush up into Broodlords, which can go very well with this comp, or does he once again want to go for Swarm Host that he's used pretty well today?
Okay, coming up now with these Immortals. And Dark is basically ready. You know, when you see that many Ravagers, you just can't warp in. The Zerg wants you to warp in, and they're going to shoot your Warp Prism out of the sky. Easy peasy. And Dark's getting bigger and bigger. Now, Trap has taken a 4th. I believe there's no probes transferred to it just yet, but these Lings are going to force a cancel.
Yeah.
And I think we're getting close to the nail in the coffin here for Trap. A 3-base Protoss that was that lost a few Immortals early on. It doesn't have a lot of leg room in a 5-base Zerg that is nearly maxed out. Getting a Spire, Banelings now.
Well, the Fleet Beacon is coming up at actually a really good time. You saw when the Hive started, so Trap pre-countering for those Broodlords. It's really important. Oh!
What?
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
Well, luck is with you today, Trap.
Yeah, no kidding. Very important that those stayed alive back there.
This attack coming up is very, very important. This should dictate the rest of the game, probably.
Well, Dark would ideally want this to try to close it out and do a ton of damage. Now, I'm not clear on how many sentries are for whatever location. Trap is going to be hit it.
He needs really good Psy Storms here as well.
Yeah, well, Psy Storms have to connect perfectly to eliminate Lings and Banelings before they really start to do damage. Now, these Oracles, again, the same 2 Oracles, this is actually slowing him down quite a bit. Banelings trying to crash through the cannons. Not exactly an ideal exchange here. Okay, that went very well for Trap.
Yeah, the Zealots, the cannons, 9 probes, but he doesn't really lose a Nexus or anything. I guess that Dark is actually not going to trade right now. He's kind of doing some harassment. He's seeing if he can get damage done, but going right up into this Greater Spire, adding to his drone count as well.
Okay. We had the Oracles. They're just basically following this army.
Ooh,
Again, great job with these Archons.
Yeah, those Archons are gaining some value now, finally. But Tasteless, the MVPs of this game are those 2 Oracles. I can't believe they're still around.
You don't normally see the Oracles do that much throughout an entire game.
And the thing is, they're still alive. Normally by now, we're almost 12 and a half minutes in. Normally you've lost them, and then you're like fighting against Broodlord, you're like, oh yeah, I need an Oracle to tag these Broodlords.
Right.
Now he already has them. He already has 2 of them.
Okay, Trap may be bracing for impact coming up here. Looks like Dark has a small army on the right. It did look like he was going to go hit the bottom location, but now he's going to try to loop through on this side with the Banelings.
Oh,
and those are the Psy Storms that you're looking for. Oh! Okay, he gets 12 probes, which is not bad. But, I mean, this is a lot of gas. When you spend that kind of gas on Banelings, you know, they only have 1 shot to do damage. As you said, Artosis, they don't get a kill count. You never get to find that out. So, and in some ways, Dark may end up hemorrhaging too much gas overall, where most of Trap's, if not all of Trap's key army units, like the Templars, the Immortals, the Archons, are living through this.
Yeah. And the fact that Tempests are coming out right now, okay, 12 Corruptors, this is kind of an important thing. He's going to have a bunch of Corruptors, but will he have enough to eliminate the Tempest? Because there's no other real anti-air. I mean, there's Corrosive Bile, but that generally isn't the greatest counter. It actually does surprisingly okay-ish against this type of thing because you're in a death ball and it's pretty big, but the Lingbane Roach Ravager type of army that he still has, is he gonna find the right usage of this? Because like that's a lot of money was put into that as well. It's definitely not a waste, but
no, I mean it's not bad, but he was definitely like he was getting ready for something. There's that great tag again. MVP Oracles here.
Yeah, one of them gets out too.
And so is Trap actually going to try to push here? This might be a little bit dicey. A lot of times with Broodlords, you want to try to play around the Broodlords, try to attack where they're not. But you know, with Tempest, he can try to snipe.
Yeah. I think if he can start to put pressure on them, you either make them come engage you into Psystorm Archon, or they run away and you can kill a base. So that's why tagging them can be really good. But there's good zoning going on by Dark right now as well. Getting a lot of these important upgrades, getting pathogen glands. I really like that. You don't see that many Zergs grab that right now, but getting ready for those infestors a little bit later, adding in a couple Vipers as well. Maybe he'll be able to kill off the mothership if he's quick enough. Trap is slow enough.
Okay. Again, Trap has to be careful. This is a really scary army. It could definitely beat almost anything, but each unit took a long time to get all of this together, right?
Yeah.
If you lose all the Immortals, if you lose all the Archons or all the Tempests, okay, that's going to take a while. Maybe not the Archons. You can remake that fast, but then all your gas is gone. You're not making much of anything else. So
his bank isn't that big either, really, when you look at it.
Dark's minerals are beginning to bank up some of that gases as well. But, you know, even at this phase of the game, if you remake bunches of Lings that keep sending them to locations like we're seeing here, you can deny any more expanding or any more growth. Okay, here we go once again. Now, is he looking?
He is absolutely looking.
Wow. So this is, what is that, the third time we've seen Banelings go down there like that?
Yeah, something like that. He continually tries. It's not really working out, though. A couple DTs on the way. Getting Blink, just kind of filling in the upgrade tree.
Yeah, and this is really important. You need every tool you can get when you get this late in the game. Dark is getting to the point where he's starting to stretch out super far. We see a base in the center left. There's a high chance eventually the upper right is going to be expanded to. Trap, you know, the Protoss always expands a little bit more slowly than the Zerg. But that can also be scary for the Zerg because sometimes the Zerg will mine out before the Protoss has taken all of his bases. And then it's really just a waiting game for the Protoss from there.
By the way, we saw kind of a, maybe, what do I even call this? Why didn't I at lost words? We saw how Trap is thinking about this game right now when he made those DTs into Archons. He's really only caring about his gas because DTs cost a lot more resources than a high Templar.
Which also says he really cares about late game.
Yeah.
He wants to do this in the most efficient manner that is possible.
Yeah,
it is more cost effective to do that with DTs and
as far as gas goes.
Yeah, then with high Templars.
So just kind of a little interesting side piece. Wow, that Immortal, totally sick.
Okay, he's going to try to push in now.
Looks like an Archon might be picked off there right in the front. Some great side storms going. Oh my God, that's a lot of Archons.
Okay, harpooning some of these Tempests here. So many Archons. Corruptor's not quite able to hit that mothership for now.
Oh my God, the Archon count is so insane.
Okay, he might just take this all the way. You know, the Archons just zoned that so perfectly.
Wow.
And that's it, GG. Whoa, Trap takes game one. Sick.
Well, there you have it.
That was
Trap's
such a good engage.
Every Archon so important there. Dark's army was really scary too.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because the Corruptors were sort of in the bottom left part of the fight.
Yeah.
And the Archons were spread just so well.
There was no angle to really come in. There was so many Archons.
The harpooning on the Tempest was good. But,
you know, Archons was that? It was like 10 Archons or something.
Something like
12
that.
12 Archons. It was like 15 Archons.
Dark
is
feeling the tilt right now.
Well, he made this group.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to be able to get out of here, man.
He's getting manhandled right now. We're going to go to Lost and Found. See if Dark can find his comeback. Gotta look up your Lost and Found. We're gonna do that, Artosis. You know.
Well, I hope he finds it.
He's like, is my round of 8 in here? And like, Trap's gonna look up at the desk and be like, sorry, sir.
Yeah. I tell you, Dark TY would be a sick match to end on as well.
Yeah.
Though I really can't complain about a rematch of Trap and TY. Let's see if Dark.
Trap's like, there's just one black wallet in here. Is that yours? He's like, yeah. He's like, what's your name? What's the driver's license number? And then Dark has to turn around and leave. Yeah.
Jin Air Green Wings, Trap. Dark.
Man, such great games tonight. Pretty out of control. TY awaits the winner. You know, I'm almost getting really excited for next season.
Yeah.
The group selection and just see what happens between Classic and Dark. Because Dark is always so sure of himself against Classic, and now he's lost, and here he is, and he might just get eliminated. And
well,
just
here's what's really weird about this, man, is that, you know, for actually a while, some more Dark support here. Dark for a while was like so almost the guy.
Yeah.
You know? BlizzCon finals, yeah, and, you know, top 4s and
all over
every
the place.
tournament that's going on, exactly. I mean, of course you eventually are looking at this and saying, okay, I'm so close. I gotta keep doing what I'm doing, and I am going to move on and become, you know, a champion, and maybe I'll be that player, kind of where Rogue is right now, where, you know, I feel like there's a 50% chance that Rogue wins this tournament.
Yeah.
You know?
It's Rogue Amaru, right?
it should be, right? But now this has got to be a little bit weird for him, right? We're in the round of 16. This is where, you know, Dark, you have to assume, always expects to get out. He knew
always
this group
expects
was
it, but it's actually kind of funny. He gets eliminated in GSL round of 16 quite often when SSL was having a lot of tournaments, so he was always getting really deep, right? But
yeah.
at GSL, you know, he does occasionally go past, but only recently. Yeah. Which, again, is this weird thing where Dark is always best or second best Zerg in the world. He has been for like 4 years now.
Yeah.
Really, when you think about it. Huh.
But, you know, even here against Trap, right? Like, Trap is looking pretty damn good. TY is also very scary. You know, it's got to be a bit of a shock to him, right? That and it's going to be crushing for him if he gets eliminated in the round of 16.
Well, I think for everyone that's in the round of 16, you know, maybe aside from patience, maybe it's crushing for him as well. But I think just about everyone's like, nah, I should get out of here. You know, just like GSL champions abound.
Yeah.
I wonder how many years back you have to go to find a GSL champion that's not in this tournament right now. It might be a ways.
I mean, there's some, but yeah, I mean, it's
who's a retired GSL champion?
MVP.
Yep. There's more recent ones though, like Sniper.
Oh, okay. You want to go that far back?
Well, that's more recent.
No. But I guess I'm
trying to find the most recent one that's retired.
Actually, that is a really tough one to find.
Huh.
Yeah, I don't know. Someone could tweet that at us.
Yeah, I don't know.
You're right, because there were definitely eras, right? There was like your Nesties, your MVPs, and they were good, but this was like way before the game was really figured out.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I'm just sitting here counting. I'm like thinking of all these groups and all the players in them, and I'm like, well, that group has 4 GSL champions.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, damn, is everyone a GSL champion at this point? Does it even mean anything anymore? Like,
I feel like when we talk about those guys, like the old guys, they were great, but you know, were they the greatest fighter of all time? I don't know. I mean, this was back in the Roman era, and he was 7 feet tall and had baseball mittens for hands. And yeah, he just killed everybody. He was in the gladiator pit, right? But like now it's like, okay, no, we're in the UFC and we know how to combo in like jiu-jitsu and boxing, and this is a different level of fighter, you know?
It is a
and that's
very
where we're at
different
in this like iteration of StarCraft 2 where we just know more about RTS than ever before.
And everyone's so much better. It's insane. By the way, those Adepts actually getting a pretty surprising amount of damage done.
Oh! Hey, again, these Oracles, man. Trap knows how to deliver a lot of damage with that. Warp Prism coming up here again. A lot of this is looking similar to Game 1. Zealot Legs on the way. I suppose on some level, if you win a game like Trap did, you probably don't feel like you have to do anything special. You want to be careful and make sure they're not trying to do anything sneaky. We don't have to do anything crazy, right?
Yeah. Yeah, is this actually like a... Okay. He does have the Templar Archives, so it looks like should be some Archon harassment, but Charge coming along as well at third base. Roach is being made by Dark.
Maybe things are just moving along right now. Dark's eventually going to get to fourth base. I don't believe that Dark can really contest the third base right now for Trap. Here comes that Warp Prism now. Now remember in the last game, not much damage was done, right? Because there was a threat of the links. This game is a little bit different this time around.
That's a really good point, actually. It was such a different opening by Dark that he was trying to do something like cancel the third base, and Trap was so on top of it.
Yeah.
But,
so,
yeah.
Let's see how Dark does when he actually is taking a bit of a beating here. I mean, already a lot of these creep tumors taken out.
And don't forget, he did lose a chunk of drones. He didn't lose as many as to the 2 Oracles in the previous game. But definitely, what do we see, 7 kill total between 2 Adepts and an Oracle?
Man. So Phoenix is now here with the rest of the group. And behind this, I mean, the Protoss is just trying to mass up as quickly as possible. Now he's going to try to come in and do some real damage here, maybe get a Queen. Good control here by Dark, backing the Queen up.
Yeah, very well done. Doesn't commit the Phoenix in there. I thought he might lift it up and try to get the kill.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking when I saw that come in there, is I thought, okay, he wants to pick up one and maybe have the Archons just shoot it down from the sky.
Double Evo this time, by the way.
Yeah.
Getting melee and range attack, getting Baneling speed again as well. So maybe that same type of unit comp. Oh, and look how quick that hive is as well. That's a very, very quick hive.
Observer didn't get in there, though.
Yeah, that's
a little bit of
good scout.
Now, is he going to follow this up with a push? He's still making immortals. He'll have to. But that was the only observer he had, right? He made one observer, and then he kept making immortals the whole time.
Yeah, and he's making a second one now because he does have 2 Robos.
Yeah. So there's going to be a lot of momentum here from Trap. So Trap, again, this is a little bit of a different game how it's panned out, but you know, last time we saw Trap was pretty impressive with the pushes he came out with. Now again, you want to watch out for those Ravagers with the Warp Prism. You know, the goal is not just to take out force fields like that, but if you see a Warp Prism set up, you can shoot it out of the sky and the rush just ends.
Yeah.
Protoss cannot compete with a Zerg that has any decent group spread and is continuing to reproduce.
Yeah. By the way, I was going to say, what is this Hive for? Because he wasn't making a Spire. He just started the Spire as the Hive's finishing. So this had to have been a misplay by Dark. Just kind of being kept busy.
Again, he might be pretty tilted here. Now he's going to go ahead and take out the Queen, but not much else. But this is at least keeping Dark back. But yeah, if Dark's not teching properly, especially at this level of play, you have to keep up. There's not a lot of tricks to play catch up if it's simply like a building slate, an upgrade slate. I mean,
well, his Greater Spire would be almost halfway done.
You're right.
Against carriers that are making right now, but now there's going to be 3 carriers out, maybe 6 carriers out when he has Broodlords. So obviously this is an issue because the Stargates are generally a reaction to Hive, so there's always this little window.
Yeah, I mean this has on some level just been completely preempted, but in part because it's Dark's fault. You know?
Yeah, it is.
I mean, if you really can't do any damage to each other early on, you have no other choice but to try to keep expanding and to keep teching up. You can't tech up forever, okay? Eventually you have all the stuff you can make.
Rogue begs to differ. Okay. A lot of Banelings being made, a lot of Zerglings. He's going to have Adrenal.
Now, there might be a moment, especially with all these Banelings making, I think there almost absolutely will be a moment that Dark tries to attack in here. Trap is still not maxed out. He's certainly not far away from it, but, until Protoss has everything, you might as well, okay, now this is not good. You will take Baneling hits on your Archons all day if you can.
Yeah, please. Please, can I have
Those
some
shields
more,
coming
sir?
back, yeah.
But there's like nothing that really hits air right now, and there's going to be, the carriers number 4 and 5 are building. I'm getting a little bit scared here for Dark. He's made like a lot of Ling Bane, but he hasn't done anything.
He needs to do something here.
Yeah.
There is a way that Protoss can play this, and that's what's happening, where he pushed out, looked at the army, said, nah, came back home. He's just building up. It's an arms race right now, but Dark, despite his big supply and the bank that he's got, all in all, a lot of ways, Trap's army is a little bit scary. Look at this. He's going to send these Immortals out. I don't need them.
Yeah.
And then he goes back. But later on, he will start to get rid of some of those Immortals, in all seriousness. They're not.
Indeed. As your air army gets bigger, you just don't need them anymore.
Eventually, Zerg's not going to be making roaches this whole game.
Oh, man.
Okay, here we go. Here we go.
Just went off.
Oh, my God. Good connection there with some of those Banelings. The probes are being pulled out.
Wow, that stasis worked just insane. Roach is worth almost nothing there. The Banelings, kind of coming in and detonating on Immortals that, to be perfectly honest, aren't needed anymore.
Okay, so now the Roaches are going to try to come forward. Look at these Warp-ins blocking this off. This was so cost inefficient, especially when we saw, as you were saying, those Banelings hit the Immortals. In a little bit, you're going to get rid of those Immortals, okay?
Yeah.
It's going to be like you're doing spring cleaning, okay?
And now he's just kind of attacking across. Broodlords are building, but there's like a carrier for every Broodlord.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, we might just see Dark die here.
It looks like it.
Psystorm coming. Okay. Does he actually have enough? Now, Trap has wedged himself in a pretty critical position, which is going to mess with a lot of the rallies and get really annoying. Dark really has to make what is going to go down work right now, because otherwise I think Trap is just going to keep growing and keep pushing.
Yeah, he's hitting a few biles. He has a bunch of spores out, but none of that seems like it's going to be enough. Carrier's doing some serious work on Broodlords.
Is there no Warp Prism with this?
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it.
Yeah, so
maybe that's to the left. I'm not sure.
Oh, actually, I think you are right. No? Okay. But, as long as he can keep, most of this ground army alive, there it is, then he can keep actually pushing up. Dark supply is plummeting. As each of these units pop out, they're not able to combo together with the rest of the Zerg's army. And I think this is basically GG. Yeah. I think that's it. Trap takes it, and we'll go on to our final best of 3.
Okay. I mean, very well played by Trap. There's no question there. Dark going for this very old style of Ling Bane Ravager and not really ever attacking with it and then not really trading with it quite right. It seems like everyone kind of has his number. He keeps trying to roll Banelings in to kill probes, and
wow,
it's
look
not
at Dark
quite
right now.
out. Dude,
this has got to be a very tough moment in his career,
for all Zergs. Truly feel like this right now, because Rogue is the only one around of 8. That's it. There's no more Zergs in the tournament but Rogue.
Well, Rogue may be the last player left. Okay, Trap's not out of this yet, though, guys. Don't forget, he's got to face off against TY, and we'll be going to that best of 3 in just a little bit.
Still I feel like I'm in chains. When I gave my heart, the darkness still all this pain I feel, it's tearing
slowly in the early morning light. The night is gone fast, and the cold is hardly felt.
아프리카 TV에는 당신이 아는 것보다 다양한 인종이 살고 있죠. 말 많은 인종, 발 빠른 인종, 잘 먹는 인종, 영리한 인종, 친절한 인종까지. 모든 게 컨텐츠가 되고 누구나 주인공이 되는 세상. 알고 보면 멋진 세상.
Are you free? Africa TV.
Overgrowth. (2018) GSL Season 2 Goddess Overgrowth.
One thing, I don't know why. It doesn't even matter how hard you try. Keep that in mind and design this rhyme to explain.
We're back for the final best of 3. Trap versus TY. Now, Trap looked very good against Dark, but TY, Classic as well, of course. He's already out of the group. And Classic and TY have just been on another level.
Yeah. Like, Classic took down TY, but it could have gone either way there for sure.
For
like,
sure. If that was a best of 5,
TY, like,
maybe TY wins that. Like,
yeah.
These guys look so good. So, I mean, I think this is going to be tough for Trap. I know that Trap's a great player.
Yeah.
He's got quite a history behind him, as does TY. But the way that TY is looking today, I don't know who can stop him.
I tell you what, I'm very afraid of Trap winning this because I think Stats and SOS will get out of the next group. And that will marshal the greatest force, the greatest coalition StarCraft has ever seen. All the Terran Winers, all the Zerg Winers together. Look at 6 Protoss!
That's right. The whole world will collectively whisper at once. Protoss OP.
Yeah. And some of the Protoss might even start to believe that.
Yeah. They're starting to be, wait a minute, am I playing the easy race? I thought it was just a meme. I thought we were having fun.
I thought we were just good and they were making roaches against Immortals.
Turns out.
Yeah.
Turns out, guys.
TY, you're our chance to upset the balance.
It might start the great meme war of 2018.
Could indeed.
You know, I heard that, you know, they were pretty sure that's what was on those hieroglyphs on the pyramids.
Oh, yeah?
But we're not sure. We're going to find out.
Is there a picture of Nathanius in there?
There is, yes.
Right.
It's the one with the hawk mask.
It's like, oh, that looks like Nathanius in a hawk mask.
Yeah.
Jin Air Green Wings. Trap. Splice.
You know something
TY.
crazy about this?
What?
Barracks is not in his base or too. It's just
What?
where to go. Oh, I found it.
Where is it then, Tasteless?
Dun, dun, dun. Probe goes by.
Second barracks at home.
Yeah. But it's late. I mean, if the probe goes up there and sees it.
Yeah, he will go up and see it. But if he doesn't click on the gas, you can look at that and say, oh,
that's a good point.
Maybe this is a gas first.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
You can click on the gas and see how much. And truthfully, if you're a good player, you always should. Just so that you know exactly how much gas to expect. But
okay. Well, he hasn't actually gone down by the gas yet.
Yeah, no, not yet. He's just harassing. Yeah, he might not. He's just like focusing on harassing right now. So this could really catch him off guard.
Center over here.
Oh boy.
Watch this. My probe's going to block it. How are you going to stop that? Meanwhile.
Yeah, and he knows he's going to block it. So like this actually buys him a little bit of time.
TY's like, oh yeah. He's like, oh no, I can't get my command center up. Oh, how annoying. My build order's been ruined. I better send a second SCV out here.
The second SCV comes.
No, hold on, does he go back?
Oh no, my build order's ruined. Oh, you're so funny. Oh my God, you're the greatest human.
Yeah, I mean, if he doesn't check for it.
Dude, TY with all the cheeses today. Really quality cheeses.
Yeah. Oh
my
no.
God, oh my God. This is crazy. Oh. It's the one dark spot. Isn't that always the way?
Here we go.
Okay, now he sees it.
God. Okay. Activate rush. Watch just as the Nexus finishes.
Oh boy, this is a hard one. Concussive shells are about to finish. Marauders definitely are going to be able to beat Adepts.
Yeah. Wait, was that 2 batteries or was that a battery?
2 batteries.
It's 2
and
batteries.
A pylon behind.
Okay, so he's making that a little bit later.
Once the batteries get up, maybe? But the Marauders in a bunker.
The bunker's going to be up. He actually got the. Oh, never mind. There's like another SCV.
Shells, man.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
He got that one SCV, but the other one made. Here's the thing: is the Marauder is actually beefy enough.
Yeah.
Oh, he's trying so hard.
Oh, he got the SCV. That's crazy. Let's see that battery micro.
One Marauder goes down.
He's on the pylon. Good micro from Trap.
We need another SCV to come up here. I don't know if he's going to do it. The thing is, you could still win. You could still win as Terran here. I mean, this has a lot of momentum.
Yeah.
Warp Gate's about to finish.
And
cut that out.
Ooh, get that pylon out of here. You need to get a Warp Prism to power those.
By the way, TY's expanding behind this.
Oh man, I think Trap's dead. That's it.
He's doing a good job targeting these Immortals. Not Immortals, Marauders, excuse me. He gets that one Adept. The bunker is finished. Again, with concussive shells, it's almost impossible to run away.
Yeah,
I mean, you are probably going to eat a shot or two from a Marauder if you go down, and then once that hits you, you're going to be eating even more.
Yeah. And behind this, TY is getting his Nexus. I mean, his command center. There's not a lot here for Trap. Like, he's getting a Robo. Okay, I get it. What does he do? Does he do Disruptor Draw? Does he try to do some sort of Mass Stalker Prism?
You know, the Disruptor Drop is actually pretty interesting. You know, when you do this build, medevacs are very late.
I feel like it's a little bit slow. I think you have to go Stalker all in or something like that, you know? Where you're trying to, like, utilize it like your hero.
Oh, no, the force field isn't even tight. Little wiggly Marauders.
Yeah.
Wiggle, 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 wiggle.
I can do it.
Give me a push. Push
Suck
from behind. All right. So now he's inside the base. Oh, look at this. Oh, you are so good. Now I can hit your probes from here. Look at this. Okay, GG.
All right. Wow. Well done by TY. A well-executed cheese there with that proxy barracks. Trap actually did have enough intel that he could have collected with his initial scout probe. If he clicks on that gas and he has these things memorized, which you actually should, guys. I don't want to be too critical, but this is actually something that you should be able to do, is click on that and be like, oh, is this all like a little bit off time? There's 150 minerals in an SCV missing. You know, that's substantial, and that is something you can definitely tell early game. Regardless, good play here.
Wow.
Trap almost looked like he might hold it for a moment.
Trap, you know, there was a period you could see he was frustrated, then he kind of laughed. Like, ah, man. Okay, still got 2 more chances. Or I guess you can't mess up from here, but we're going to go to Catalyst Plant. Trap has to win this game.
Plant.
Did I just do that? Catalyst
We have
Plant?
2 more traps.
All right.
We have 2 more
and then we're gonna
chances now. Well, I guess he can't.
Catalyst.
Yeah.
All right, this is game 2. Trap versus TY. The winner. It's going to be our 6th player in the round of 8 here at the GSL. The best GSL season we've ever had.
Truth.
Fight! Jin Air Green Wings, Trap.
He's now lost 2 games to TY where he got proxied. Probably doesn't put you in the best of moods.
Splice, TY.
His name is short, but his skills are not.
Damn right. TY is so prepared in this matchup, by the way.
Yeah, he's shown a ton of different plays.
So the probe comes up here again. Now, so far, it looks like everything TY is doing is actually pretty normal.
Yeah, nothing too crazy so far. I think if you got that cheese win, you can just play a couple macro games and try to finish it out. There's a little bit of harassment from Trap.
Okay, so probe comes back in again. Are you going to expand for real this time?
Harassment. He's like, oh no, you're delaying my command center, but this time he means it.
Yeah.
Throws it down immediately.
I'll play for real this time, says TY.
Trap's starting to figure out that this is actually a normal build this time. And the signs were kind of there last time. For sure they were there, you just didn't pick up on them. It's easier said than done though, right?
Trap is laying his own right now, Artosis.
Yeah.
Now when TY comes in here, there's nothing to kill this SCV just yet. This is another moment where you can kind of look around and say, you should have something here. How many pylons do you have? How many other buildings do you have?
There is a missing pylon. Now, I bet you TY figures that out.
Is TY going to have that moment like they do in Sherlock where he sees like all these different things, like the length of Trap's fingernails and then, you know, like the type of shoes he's wearing? He goes, up.
Sunburn on the back of his neck.
Yeah, yeah.
Must have been on vacation with his mistress when he said he was at a work conference.
Exactly, yeah.
And that's why his wife killed him?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Or more like, he should have 2 pylons by now and he only has 1.
You can't keep making stuff if you don't have pylons. And he knows. Elementary, Watson. Okay, well, it's not really the end of the world, but this the Trap is being stopped in whatever he's trying to do.
Yeah. Cyclone on the way, another barracks as well.
Yeah.
Actually, even leaves with Marine. Doesn't feel like losing that, knows that he would. But this is not like a non-playable position. That's for sure. Yeah, right. Oh, you thought you were going to kill that? Oh, that's cute. What's that going to make?
Was that just for looks to send the probe up there? Make it seem like it's more alarming that he has that over there? Oh! Okay, he gets rid of it.
Nice.
And nothing. I think he might have done that just to scare TY, because TY did see the probe go up there. So it's one of those moments where you say, oh, is he like doing some other kind of weird rush? Is there gonna be like a gateway there or something really weird? You know, what's happening?
Yeah. Oracle gonna be popping out here shortly.
Ooh, gotta be careful. What? Okay, I was about to say.
Oh, the second stalker, okay.
Wait a minute, but you gotta kill it.
Oh, okay. That would have been hilarious if he didn't get it and he lost his stalker. It's like, well, you've been outclassed, my friend.
Stim's on the way, 2 more gates. The Oracle's now out and headed north. Again, TY probably the best tactician in StarCraft.
Yeah, that's pretty
Just
fair.
always has a good engage. Everything is very thought out. Everything is very calculated. Now here comes, already in a good spot.
Some little tags. He's basically what's going on. Nothing too aggressive coming out of TY, to be honest.
Trap wants to hide another pylon over here. I think it's actually a pretty smart move. I don't know if TY will check for that.
What's he going to do with it? Like,
I think he might just use it later on to warp stuff in. Because, you know,
TY
was doing these pushes that came out, like, really fast. Like, he's like, I've got a tank, I've got a Cyclone and Marines.
Yeah.
Let's go. And I think he does that, and maybe you warp in some stuff over there and start killing his SCVs.
Throw a couple of depths out or something.
Yeah, and go, shame! Shame on you for attacking that early.
Oh, or he just warps in 3 more Stalkers and goes for it.
Okay. I'm not sure if this works.
No.
I don't feel like this is wise. I like my idea more, Artosis. The SCV comes.
You need to be Trap's coach.
Yeah.
I think that's what we've learned here today.
Okay, well, the bunker ate a little bit of damage, but SCVs are now here to repair. Now, keep in mind, Stim's getting close to finishing. There's already a medevac out, and it's got 2 Widow Mines and a Cyclone in there.
Oh, 3 Oracles actually lined up, ready to get some damage done. That's an interesting drop from TY as well.
Okay, there's actually nothing here in the main. Oh, no way.
He's not going to get it. But you know what? He lures in the SCVs. He actually doesn't do hardly anything. Oh, that's disappointing.
Now I'll know if you cancel Stim. Medevac is coming here through the bottom.
Did he cancel it or did it finish? 50-50.
Okay. All right, the Oracle's coming again, and they're doing a decent amount of damage, but there's a drop now. 1 Cyclone over here. Oracles are what is going to help him spot the Widow Mines. And notice he didn't show this right away.
Boy.
He just dropped the Cyclone, and now the Widow Mines come out. And now you're realizing, oh, man. Oh, my God. That was actually way more than he was supposed to get.
Oh, my gosh. Serious damage going down.
All right, make up your mind. Go underground now, buddy.
All right. Well, more or less mining time, I guess, is fine. But 7 probes killed overall.
All right,
Did he lose the 2 sentries that he warped in, or are those sentries? Because the Cyclone was fighting some sentries when we went to watch a Widow Mine.
Oh, okay. Gets that 1 Widow Mine. Stalker's backing up now. Again, this is kind of TY's forte in this matchup a lot of times. He knows how to come in. Now, notice the Widow Mine is pretty well placed. I think he just now noticed it.
Oh, my God. He's dropping 2 locations while doing this push. This push is a fake.
Dude, he's everywhere.
Oh.
No, actually getting that cybernetic score is not bad at all, man. Oh my God!
Oh, TY is so magnificent.
Did
you see this?
He's going to get the cybernetic score, I believe, which means no more Stalkers. Yeah, we see it actually being remade here.
Oh my God.
So he can't make more Stalkers.
Oh, no.
I'm sorry. No, he just made a second one because he thought he was going to lose it.
Yeah.
So Trap's
he wants AR
trying
upgrade.
to just do everything. Now he wants to get all the air upgrades. No. So he just hasn't canceled that other one just yet.
TY just so crazy with all this multitasking. The fact that he's dropping 2 locations at the same time while doing a fake attack on the 3rd.
Yeah, well, you can see that a lot of people just can't juggle this many attacks headed at them at once.
It's harder to defend in many ways, and it's hard to pull off, right? Because you have to be so fast and prioritize. But the thing is, you know what you're doing. You have the plan. You set it into motion.
The
Protoss player has to look at that, or whatever player that's put up with 3-way harassment, and you have to spot each and every one of them, figure out what's in the medevacs, and then go deal with it.
Oh, please tell me this isn't going to get underground. Oh, okay. Style points. He's not stopping either. No. He's going to keep dropping in here. Now, the command center, it is a little bit later here. TY really was leaning pretty hard on Trap, and he did get a lot of probes.
Yeah.
Again, this looks really scary, and it's pretty epic what TY is doing, but if you just lose all these medevacs and don't kill anything, then the Protoss is going to win the game.
Look at all these units that are actually left over up here. Okay, well, he kills 4 Widow Mines, loses 2 of his Stalkers, but look at this attack that's going to the 3rd base right now. He needs his entire army to have any chance of holding that.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, is the Stalkers are very spread out. And that was pretty decisive. He has a big army attacking over here, but he had 4 Widow Mines that hit there. Now, the Stalkers are scrambling to come back now, so the Protoss should be able to hold off the rest of this, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Looks like TY maybe overdoing it a little bit. Oh my God, he blinks forward into reinforcements. A lot of Marauders in here as well. The Marauders targeting down so much. Look at that damage.
Hey, man, I mean, with this many Marauders, we don't have an Immortal in with this group just yet. So there's no easy answer for everything that's being thrown at him right now. Blink will buy you time, but eventually you need Zealots in the front. Here comes the first Immortal, but it's already too much of Trap's army been damaged.
Oh my God.
And there's no War Prison for the pickup.
Yeah.
Artosis
powers it down so quickly, warping in whatever he can, but it's all getting targeted down. TY out of control.
Is too good.
Holy crap. He looks so good right now. It's insane. Just crazy good play. Trap is such a good player and ends up getting 3rd place in this group. But
TY is a god. He's
Classic
so
and
good.
TY so played better than everyone else today. They played so well. They look better than just about everybody. These two, Rogue and Maru, man, are just beasts.
I feel like TY looks better than I've ever seen on
And
some
we
level.
saw him win 300K last year.
I know.
And he looks better now.
But you know, he looks almost like some kind of like we took a bunch of Beyond DNA from a couple of years ago and injected him with that. And now he's like foaming at the mouth and microing like we've never seen before.
He looks like he's an entire MOBA team with all these drops going on plus the macro.
첫 번째 8강 진출자 전태양 선수입니다. 축하드립니다.
Second place, congratulations. He says thank you.
네, 오늘 정말 조성호 선수의 멘탈을 부시는 그런 화려한 견제들을 보여주셨던 것 같아요. 먼저 진출 소감 어떠신가요?
You just destroyed Trap's
성호가 워낙 연습
Trap
때
mentally. How do you feel?
잘하고 패자전에서 워낙 잘 해가지고
First of all, I think Trap played really well, especially I know he practiced hard.
원칙적인 수를
When I looked at his losers matches, I thought, wow, this is going to be a tough one.
백워터 경기를 이기고 나서 좀 심리적으로 많이 우위에 있다는 생각이 들어서 좀 편했던 것 같아요.
네,
So,
오늘 준비된 빌드,
I
준비된
felt a little bit more
피지컬 정말
comfortable
보여주신 것 같습니다.
once my strategy
한방향
started to work
해방선
out.
견제도 정말 엄청나다 생각을 했었는데 최종전은 또 다른 스타일의
Your harass play
견제를
was definitely very
보여주셨어요.
impressive.
오늘 프로토스전의 핵심이
In that
견제였나요?
final match, you showed a very different style.
일단 무난하게 가면 왠지 질 것
What, you just want to try to win with harass back there?
서로 약간 진흙탕 게임을 만들어야겠다는 생각을 갖고 왔는데 승자전에서 좀
Yeah, I figured if I had a lot of different fights going on,
네, 김도 선수와의 경기가
I could pull it off. But then it didn't work in the winners match, so I'm really worried maybe I'm doing that too
네,
much.
저는 웬만하면
Do
이길
you
줄
have any
알았는데
disappointments against Classic?
잘하는 선수다 보니까
Yeah, I really thought I was going to beat him, to be honest.
역습까지 잘 하더라고요. 그래서
Classic's obviously a really good player, though.
벽을 느꼈던 것
I think he defended everything really, really well.
조성호 선수와의 경기에서는 안정적인 경기를
I felt like I was
보여주셨던
hitting
것
the wall.
같은데 최종전에서 불곰의 또
So in the
멋진
final match,
역대급 또 장면이 있었거든요. 이 버프 이후에 가장
that was
멋진
really good control with your Marauders.
그냥 역장을 밀어버릴 수가 있는 거였나요?
좀제
The Marauders have been patched.
날씬하더라고요 생각보다.
And now we're seeing you use them in a really cool way. It was very impressive.
다이어트 좀 했구나 이
네.
생각했습니다.
아니 그 역장을 밀어버리고 들어가요. 정말 멋진 불검의 한 장면이었습니다.
Just talking about the pushing
오늘
through the force
전용화된
field.
우관 빌드를 저격하는 전진 사이클론 올인.
They wiggle
준비된
sometimes.
빌드도
Yeah, need a little
보여주셨거든요.
marine to push him from behind.
태관 수련하시는 게 좀 느낌이 많이 났어요.
Let's talk about that
소외포구 들어가신 것 같았는데.
proxy cyclone and a proxy
일단
Stargate. There was
선수들이
this
워낙
proxy
조가
Stargate in
너무
that other game.
힘들어가지고 혼자 연습하면은
Oh, yeah, yeah.
좀
Since
많이
my group
힘들
was
것
really
같아서
hard,
네.
그 외국인 선수들이 있는 게임
knew it was going to take a lot of practice.
연습을 했는데
네.
외국인 친구들의 도움도 많이 받았고
I stayed in the foreign team house
토스가
and got a lot of help from the
김대엽
non-Korean
선수하고
players,
백동준 선수가 많이
especially since there were a lot of
도와줬는데
Protosses in my group.
힘이 됐던 것 같아요.
네, 이렇게 토스전
Deer also helped me a lot.
준비를 잘 하신 모습이었습니다. 그런데 아까 최종전 앞두시고 저그를 만나고 싶어 하시는 그런 의외의 모습을 봤거든요.
Before we have the
저그
final
박영 선수
matches,
만나고 싶으셨어요?
네, 사실
I think that you were hoping to face off against Dark. Did you have any aspirations to play against him? Honestly, I have a pretty tough time against
저한테는
Protoss.
아직 벅차서 근데 좀 저그전은 아무래도 테란이 주도권
I was
갖고
kind of hoping to actually try to get
저그전이
some
좀
games
더
against
편해서,
Zerg.
저그전을 좀 바랬어요.
그게 상대가
Seems like I'm always able to take a lead if I'm playing against
였는데도
Zerg.
그런 생각을 하셨나요? 사실 중요한 순간마다 전태현 선수를 잡았던
Even if your
박영
opponent's Dark,
선수거든요.
do you feel the same way?
네, 그 생각을 갖고 토스를 생각을 하다가 오늘 박영우 선수가 김도우 선수한테도 상대 전적 많이 이겼는데 지는 걸 보고 충분히 할 수 있겠다는
So when we look at my
생각을
past
가져서,
record between
저그전
Dark
자신 있고 그래서 저그전을
versus Classic,
하고 싶었는데 근데 토스가 원래
the results don't.
많이 위축이
The
됐었어요.
results don't matter as much.
자, 다음
So,
8강은 투테란
that, I guess,
아니면
makes me a little bit more confident
토스입니다.
overall.
이 토스전 연습 많이 하셨으니까 토스
So that's why I was
만나고
okay to face off
싶으신가요?
against him.
어떠세요?
솔직하게
So in the
너무
group,
징징댄다고 그럴까 저는
D, there's two
테란전
Protosses.
나오고
How do you feel
싶고요.
about their chances?
변현우 선수나 고병기 선수랑
I want more Terran versus Terran matches.
프로토스전에
I'm hoping
좀
Yeoner
많이
Gumiho.
부담감을 느끼고
I'm still a little bit afraid to face other Protoss players.
네. 지금 전태양 선수가 인정하는
I'm also
테란이
rooting for Mario.
조성주 선수인가 봐요.
근데 혼자 테란
So
중에
Maros
혼자
are the Terran player.
잘하더라고요. 그래서 너무 좀 대단한 것 같고 그래서
Yeah, Maro's the only
독보적으로 잘하는 선수가 있으면
Terran
그
player
선수의 플레이를 좀 카피를
who's
해야 될
playing,
필요성이
I
있는 것
think,
같아요.
so crazy well.
그렇군요. 연습을 더 하고 오겠다.
So I think I might have to copy some more of his
자,
style.
그럼 마지막으로 이 8강 경기 가고 들어보겠습니다.
사실 저희 조가 너무
Any determination for
모든
the
조가 힘들지만
quarterfinals?
저희 조가 너무 정말 힘들다고
I know every
생각을
group
해서
seems tough, but personally, I think this group was
올 때
extremely
떨어질 것 같다는
difficult.
느낌을 많이 받았는데 이렇게
Before I
올라가게
came to the
돼서
studio,
너무 기쁘고요.
I had a really bad feeling in my gut that I was going to get knocked out. So I'm really glad I've been able to advance.
제 스스로의 한계를 한번 깨보고 싶습니다.
I get eliminated a lot in the quarterfinals, so I feel almost like this is my last chance. I want to break that curse and move on. Congratulations, he says thank you. He's actually very good at interviews.
Yeah.
Notice that? He's like,
C조 경기 결과
that's what happens
확인해
when you've
보시죠.
been pro gaming for that long, man. You get quite good at answering these questions, saying all the right things.
Indeed. A lot of practice with that skill level too, right? He gets a lot of interviews.
Yeah.
So, at the end of the day, Classic and TY advance. It was super duper well deserved. These guys definitely look like the best players.
Oh yeah.
Classic versus TY was pretty insane. You know, Trap and Dark are really unbelievably strong players, but that's what we're eliminating this season is unbelievably strong players.
Yeah. Too bad too. Especially for Dark, I think he didn't have the performance he wanted. I think Trap looked really good, but against TY, it's like TY too strong, too fast. So there's only 2 more spots remaining in the round of 8. And so far this lineup is crazy. We're going to have Mara versus Rogue.
Wow.
Wow. And then Zest versus Steer. Whoa, that's going to be crazy. Classic and TY already being here. This looks like a round of 8 that makes perfect sense.
It does in so many ways. I can't wait to see how it gets filled in as well. I'm kind of leaning towards those other 2 Protoss players, Stats and SOS, in super good form
Could
lately.
be. And then it might be our lone Zerg.
Yeah. Well, it's certainly our lone Zerg as Dark got eliminated tonight.
Yeah.
Our next group, 1 p.m. KST on Sunday. It's going to be Stats, Byun, SOS, and Gumiho.
Dude, all these groups have been so good.
Yeah, that's an exciting group to watch right there.
Yeah.
I hope Byun can show some better games against Stats than he has recently.
I think he will. SOS, 2-time world champion. Stats and Gumiho. I mean, they're champions as well.
Yeah.
I mean, there's everybody here.
Champions you have
everybody here has won something where we go, oh, that's the best player in the world. At
2-time
world
world champion there, and then 1-time world champion there. We got 3 GSL championships in this group as well. We got 3 second places in this group. I mean, this is what I was talking about before. I'm like, what the hell? Like, StarCraft's it's just so ridiculous. These players, it's like all stars.
Yeah.
It's all stars.
We can't make this stuff up. You'd think it would be esports fan fiction because it's too good to be true.
Yeah.
But it's actually just what's happening. Anyways, Artosis, good job casting today. Guys, we love you. We will see you.
Check out the Pylon Show tomorrow morning.
Check out the Pylon Show tomorrow morning, and we will be back on Saturday. So we will see you there. Bye-bye.
Against the world. Us against the world. There's a place at the end of the
GSL Season 2 Overgrowth.